Everybody say hello to the internet people.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Internet.
And once again,
Greetings,
hello
people.
to our millions of fans. Welcome to another exciting adventure.
Exactly. That's what we're here for. It's like an exciting adventure, although we call them missions because we're playing Shadowrun. It's a grown-ups game.
No. Well, we're mature. We call them missions, not quests.
Exactly.
Grown bodies, juvenile minds.
And yeah, we're the ones with the child soldiers. So there is something adult about that. Anyway, welcome to everyone from the four corners of the world. Welcome if you're listening from the depths of space, from some far-flung colony. The human empire is now being threatened to lose from an alien menace. I'm going to vote the Tyranids. You might think it's the Orcs or the Necrons, but it's the Tyranids. Let's face it, it's always going to be the Tyranids. Welcome to Shadowrun today, in a completely different IP. We might have violated some IP laws just there, but we're moving on to Shadowrun, where we find ourselves in the nation of Cambodia. Some people think it's a republic or a democratic republic, but it's a country in free fall. We were brought in by some mysterious, shadowy figures that hired us in the mysterious, shadowy city of Bangkok. And after a little bit of shenanigans in the islands and in the city, we boarded a pathetically ill-equipped Cessna plane and flew from Bangkok to Siem Reap, one of the smaller cities of Cambodia. It's a small country. As we were taking off from Bangkok, there was political change. We noticed that Ritter's heat on the street while we were there. We noticed that the military were strong-arming the citizenry. There was a lot of APCs on the street, a lot of riots, a lot of tear gas. It was the protests were being dispersed quite violently. Two groups of protesters, the yellow shirts and the red shirts, to discuss what the yellow and the red really mean or what they represent. A little diatribe unto itself, so we'll ignore that. We took off and made to the skies after evading some of the hazards of the jungle. We were brought into land at an airstrip that had already been seized by our enemy, the Khmer Rouge. They were entrenched, and it was likely that they were there long before we took off from the airport in Bangkok. Curious, perhaps, but in any case, we were able to land and get away. Not unscathed, though. It did cost us one of our members as we were creating a series of explosions which to cover our departure. We found ourselves in Siem Reap in Cambodia, where we were working with the government, specifically a gentleman called the Interior Minister, whom you could call Mr. White if you prefer. And it seemed that the hospital, the only hospital, was one of the main assets, and there may be a plot to target the hospital in one way or another by the Khmer Rouge. We know this because we picked up some of their intel before we arrived in Siem Reap. After getting to know the place a little, after discovering that the city has been emptied of foreign and corporate influence, there's no profits here, there's no business here, and so anyone who's not welded on, married to a local, for example, has pissed off. It's no longer a place of sex tourists and investors and false gem traders. Now it's just a place where the locals are trying to sell you the trinkets because you're the only people with remotely white skin around here, except for Knight Errant, a corporate security unit that is tied to the mega corporation Ares. And even they've only got a skeleton crew. And I've never really explained exactly what Ares are doing here, so I'll run over it a little bit briefly. presence from all of the megas. Mitsuhama do computers, and Renraku do communications. And Ares do a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of earthworks, a lot of military-grade hardware, a lot of car sales, stuff like that. And Ares has a mega store, superstore here in Siem Reap. It's not those of you who are from the United Canadian American States or wouldn't call this a superstore. You probably call this your local mall. But over here it's a superstore. It's got everything. It's got guns and cars and drones and pretty much everything that Ares produces. It's got a little bit of a sample of their hardware. And naturally, like everything else over by the corporates, it's shut the fuck down. There's no office lights going on. There's only security lights are on. The places are locked down like Fort Knox. Not just the Ares Superstore, but the Renraku Communications Tower, the Mitsuhama Computer Factory. It's not like when the corporate interests left, they picked up their buildings and took them with them. That's not what happened, right? They left their hardware here, what little hardware there was. They hadn't been ordering new stock. They didn't have to, because there was no one that was buying it in the first place. So the Ares Superstore is overloaded with bulldozers and drones and cars and motorbikes and Harley Davidson. And everything that Ares produced, there's a little bit of it in there. It's all locked down, ultra tight. So each of the corps still have tiny little representations here. They haven't evacuated 100%. They've only evacuated like somewhere between 90 and 98%. All of their workers are gone, but their security details remain in position, because when you've got $1 billion asset, spending 20,000 Nubian per year to have some half-wit with his dog watching it is worth it, if just for the lawsuit that's going to come eventually. So Ares is here predominantly because they work as the government security detail. Knight Errant, Ares police force, a little bit more competent than the average cop. Knight Errant have been charged with protecting the government, the town hall, any sort of garage or all the personal living quarters of the politicians, who generally are within a kilometre of town hall anyway. So Ares are here not only to protect the government, but also because the superstore is still under lockdown. Something I probably never really mentioned, but you've been here long enough now that you can't have not noticed the lights off in the Ares superstore. So, bringing us back to our mission. When we landed, we discovered that the Khmer Rouge were firmly in control of the airport. We also learned casually that the guy that we were using as our local mechanic is also a Khmer Rouge officer, a dignitary. His name was Clockwork. He was an orc, and he was a rigger. He had a very large mechanical compound in the center of town, which was getting a shit ton of business because all of the corporates have packed up and left. He has the largest garage in the city. We executed a brilliant attack on his compound that involved pizza and gas, and Gockwagon picked up his family, his wife and kids. I'm not sure if I'm coming through clearly or not, but if you, hopefully it is. While we picked up the comatose Clockwork and later seized his compound, although we never really went through there with a fine-tooth comb. And since taking it, Ares have taken it off us in the name of the government. So we're still using the compound, but so are they, and they maintain a 24-hour presence, whereas we don't. So yeah, that's just something to think about. Anyway, we then moved on to the train. We probably could have come in on the train in the first place, but they didn't want us to do it that way, so we came in by plane instead. Because our gear came in via the train. Our hardest of hardware, our big guns, and our submersible can. Anyway, that wasn't a particularly challenging encounter, at least not until we came under fire from a sniper. This sniper had a powerful weapon, and she kept us pinned down for a while, but we managed to return fire. We used a rocket to blow the fuck up, and hopefully that'll be the last that we'll hear from them as a result. Certainly, we went up there and it certainly looked like she had been blown to fucking pieces, so that was really good. We recovered a first aid unit, an auto dock, and this auto dock was destined for the Khmer Rouge, who don't have a lot of medical facilities, but for some reason they wanted this really high-tech automated surgery machine, which we have now seized in that place. We've done a lot of intel on getting the airport, but less so intel on the pyramid, which is where the chef can be discovered. A Muay Thai specialist, a drug manufacturer, and a general all-round good cook. But when we went down to the market, we were targeted for assassination. The list of characters was comical. There were kids with submachine guns and slightly older kids with assault rifles. There was a troll with a chainsaw and a guy that was throwing cobras. There were old women being shot in the shoulder and the leg, and little kids coughing bullets as well, stray bullets. It was chaos. But apparently we're the good guys. We know we're the good guys because when the cops turned up, they didn't arrest us. It has really hit home how dangerous this city can be to people like us. If you didn't think that you stood out like dog's balls, you weren't very observant, because even the short ones among you tended to be a head and shoulders taller than the people here. Are famously short people. Even the men often not being above about 5'2", 5'4", 160 centimeters. So here we are now in Siem Reap. We ended last week's session with us relaxing somewhat, getting a little bit social, perhaps even. And so I'll turn it back to you guys now, to the players. We'll introduce the new character after you guys have a bit of a chance to interrupt me for a change. And we'll turn it back to the Hilton Hotel. In the top floor, the penthouse, where we are socializing, liaising, and maybe staying in contact with the compound via the Matrix. Take it away.
Well, I guess I'll put in a call to the rest of the team, kind of get a little conference going and inquire. So how did things go at the market? Did you get what you needed?
So again, when like Fenway first speaks, he's all like, I guess he like almost blows out his speakers because like he's got like the volume way too loud. It's like, yeah, I think we've got the metal. Like we found those drills, didn't we?
Fenway, I'm gonna give you a DNI so that you cannot possibly fuck it up.
Oh, he'll fuck that up.
A what?
It's a DNI. You can't fuck up thinking.
Are you sure about that?
Do you remember when we met the Greater Rock?
Oh, yeah, that's I mean, beautiful creature, wasn't it?
True.
I rest my case. Yeah, I think we got something I can use.
All right, good.
Give me. Ooh. How long would it take to make that ammunition, Arctic?
To make the ammunition, It's not a major project, but it's not instantaneous either.
Yeah.
Probably roughly 24 hours of solid work. If you want to take some Nova Coke or some jazz, then you could probably just sit down and get it done.
Like
Nah, I'd
instant
rather take my
test.
time and make sure it's done right.
I'll go put myself on mute for a moment. I'm going to look for a way to get a better sound out of this microphone.
All right, cool. I'm gonna copy paste it again. Things need to get done before the airport. Anybody have anything to add to this? Put it in Discord.
Get paid. It's going to be the third.
I mean, we're getting quite a bit at the end of the month, though, aren't we?
Four if we count the marketplace.
Who's counting the marketplace?
I'm counting the marketplace.
That was just a bit of sport.
It was an objective on our list. We achieved it. I'm counting it.
The thing is, do you think
That
our
makes you
group's
feel
big enough
better.
to attack the airfield?
We do it smart. We're big enough to attack anything.
Because there's about 200 of them.
They're fucking commies.
Yeah, for the record, I believe we get paid next week. This is the third week since we've been hired, and we're near the end of it.
So just so I'm understanding, our plan is to just go charging in and hit more or less.
Yep, headlong charge. You're in the lead.
No, I'm not.
I think it's going to be longer than that, Neo, because we're gonna spend time clearing out that tunnel, aren't we?
Yeah, that's gonna probably take a day or two, or maybe a week. Yeah, we'll have to check that out. The toxins. Honestly, Pepper Punch will probably do the job here. So,
Pepper Punch is great.
fucking A, Pepper Punch. So Arctic, if you don't mind, I did some maths for how much toxin we'd need to do the tower. Is 2,000 cubic meters a good approximation for the area of the tower?
I think he's possibly still fixing.
Yeah.
I thought I unmuted myself. Yeah, I would say 2,000 sounds like a pretty good number to use. I don't have to explain to you, of course, that there might be small alcoves that are going to be less affected by such a broad strategy, but that goes without saying, right?
Yeah. Well, as long as it gets into the HVAC or HVAC system, it should distribute to most of the areas with people in them. And so long as we get most of the tower, it at least fucks up the tower and makes it not defensible.
There's only so many people you can fit in a janitor's closet, for example. So
yeah. Not to mention this stuff is instant, so even if they try to hide from it, they'll eat it at least once or twice. So yeah, Pepper Punch. That stuff is readily available. I think it has an availability of like 0.
capsicum spray, basically.
Yeah, it's pepper spray.
Capsicum spray. Anyway, no worries. Yes, it's commercially available stuff. You can pick it off the street. The tuk-tuk drivers sell it.
Okay, yeah. And the calculation I used was I used a gas grenade. Fills a sphere with a 10 diameter area. So by that math, it'll take about 4 doses of each thing we want to use to fill the tower.
Your maths kind of falls down at that point, because you'll be assuming rough, evenly distributed gas, and that's not how. With the air filtration system, that'll help, but it's called a filtration system for a reason, right? It's meant to take out the. So look, it's a good plan, but I think your math broke down at the end.
Well, theoretically, we can tap into a point that's past the air filter. Can we not?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not necessarily an air filter; it's an air conditioner.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But like in the far future, you can expect that they're going to do, most things all at once. It'd be pretty.
Yeah.
I would assume that it's pretty standard for air conditioners to have better filters in the future than they do today.
Are they allowed to run the air
Like,
conditioner? That's technology.
That's a good question.
I mean, they have a
Either
drone
way,
tank. So.
Yeah, the plan is we're going to use a pressurized tank anyway to sort of shoot this gas through the system.
Yeah, that sounds like an excellent means of countering what I was trying to suggest, and that's that there won't be even distribution, but a pressurized system like a fan, something like that might help. Yeah.
I was thinking like a propane canister, but with the gas instead, and we hook it up and pressurize it and just shoot it through the system.
Just comes out like a super soaker, but gas.
Yeah.
Yep, sounds like it's a creative way to distribute your toxin. Okay, cool.
Yeah. We've got the blueprints for the system. I've got industrial mechanics skills, so I should be able to figure out how we'd rig that up.
Yeah.
You want me to make a roll for that, or?
Not yet. No. Well, not until you're enacting the plan.
All right.
Yeah, but you've got a plan.
Yeah.
Like it checks out as far as you can tell. I must say that I'm not sure about your math. But the fundamental concept is good.
Yeah, it was just a gas grenade makes a 10 diameter sphere, gas cloud, and I calculated the area of that, and it was like 540 something cubic meters. So times 4, that gives you 2,000 and a little bit of change cubic meters of gas.
But you would expect that wherever you apply it directly is going to be absolute fucking overkill, and whereas the furthest parts away from that are less likely to be effective. I think that's fairly logical. But you've thought of something to deal with that as well, so that's good.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
There we go. 5 doses. We got it. Okay, so 5 doses of pepper punch. That's like 25 million, I think. Yep. I will cover this mission expense. Godfather will try to put the system together, so it'll be probably 2 pressurized tanks, the size of a backpack, like a World War II flamethrower type deal,
Yeah.
With a hose, like a pressurized nozzle that you could access into the some kind of port on the system past the air filter, and just seal it up and turn the valve, along with a timer system that can also be set to release it.
Yep, sounds good. But not a matrix operation, just a
Yeah, no matrix operation.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna load it with 5 doses of pepper punch, 5 doses of DMSO, and 5 doses of Blight.
So basically enough for one person, but times 5.
Yeah. That's what a gas grenade uses, or what 5 gas grenades would use.
Okay. Yep.
Actually, I may have to use twice as much DMSO because I'm using 10 toxins, so I'll use 10 DMSO.
Okay.
DMSO is just the stuff that makes it skin absorbent.
Oh, right. I thought it was the nerve toxin.
Nah.
Just turns
It's,
it into a contact poison.
Yeah, so it's pepper spray, the anti-mage stuff, and the skin absorbent stuff.
You've seen very few soldiers that use long sleeves. They tend to have long pants, but not long sleeve shoes.
Well, even if it's porous, DMSO will soak through.
Yeah, give it enough time.
Yeah. If it gets through skin, it'll get through clothes.
Yeah.
I only need 5 Neo because Pepper punches contact anyway.
Yeah, but Blight isn't. Or
Guess what means you'll need 5
yeah,
for the Blight.
Yeah, technically. So I only need 5. Okay, so yeah, 5 pepper, 5 DMSO, 5.
Oh yeah, I see where you're matched. Yeah.
Yeah, pepper punch is already contact.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so check that off. Let's check out this storm drain. This Godfather will load up in the pickup with anybody who'd like to come along as backup. Like a substantial number after that fucking market incident.
All right. Well, before we do that, we'll introduce the new character. All right. So, we turn now to you, Jez, and tell me about your character, primarily your gender, your nationality, your ethnicity, whether you're black or white, and what job you had before everything went bad and you ended up being a gutter runner.
Well, she's female and she's from this area of the world. Like I said, I don't have anything like super concrete locked down.
Yeah.
Like you said, my original plan that we kind of loosely came up with, you said doesn't work because of the time.
Yeah.
But the idea was that she was, she was created to be a super soldier,
All
and
right.
at some point she escaped and has spent the last 6 to 8 years basically doing her own thing.
Brilliant. All right. So you don't have an identity or a nationality per se. Are you a corporate citizen because you are property? Do you have a sin?
I don't think we did one. I think we decided that we did.
She doesn't have the quality. She does have. She speaks Khmer as her native language. She has knowledge insurgency with a specialization in the Khmer Rouge. She has the outdoorsman quality and the wanted quality. Khmer Rouge. So the Khmer Rouge have a 25,000 Nuyen minimum price on her head.
All right. All right. And so you were bred. You weren't born. This Bioware that you've had for a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
All right.
basically designed to be a drugged out or a soldier that can juice up on drugs very well without getting out of control addicted.
Okay. All right.
Relatively cheap super soldier.
All right. Yeah, the Khmer Rouge is a new phenomenon. It's only been active for a couple of years. Um, exactly how long is difficult to say because it's hard to say where it began and when it began, like whether it began in a tea house in Austria or whether it began the first time a bomb set off in the capital of Phnom Penh. But by either of those metrics, it's somewhere between about 3 and 5 years old. It's not an old civil war. It's only been going on for a couple of years, but it's been very effective, mostly because Cambodia has no law and order, it has no security. There isn't, military bases posted here and there. There's a vacant jungle, and that's dangerous. And the government has always just left the people to fend for themselves, kind of like feudal lords that actually don't practice noblesse oblige. They don't actually have any real commitment to protecting their tax base. Anyway, so you well and truly predate the Khmer Rouge. And yet you've always been involved in a project, the project. And when you were that grown, when you were born to an organization that no longer exists. I can't remember its name. It might be Transys Neonet. I don't think so, though. There was a company.
That no longer exists, yeah.
Is that the company that became Evo? What's the name of the corporation that became Evo? There used to be a Japanicon.
Fuck. Shit, I know. I used to know this.
That group, anyway. And whatever, they were one of the original megacorps, one of the first Big Ten, but they collapsed because even the Big Ten can and do die. Even dragons can be slain. And you were born.
Yamatetsu.
You were the property of Yamatetsu. But when Yamatetsu was rebranded and became Evo maybe 10 years ago or 8 years ago or something like that, your citizenship essentially expired. You were no longer beholden to being a Yamatetsu citizen, and they didn't relog you as an Evo citizen because that would have meant putting you on the books somewhere. And hackers in Matrix 2.0 are a lot better than the old hackers, no matter what the old guys say. And such a secret was just deemed illogical to keep on record. By then, you were already a trained and seasoned operative. So, Jez, what's your character's name?
She's her street name is Flash, and then I just put Jez for her real.
Perfect. So, Flash, what were some of the jobs that Flash did? What are the skill sets that you've got? And what were some of the runs that your masters, whoever they were, sent you out for to get some experience?
Basically, she's either really quiet or really loud. Those are like the two extremes.
Yeah.
Basically, depending on whether or not she's taking drugs.
All right. Did you get involved in like military scenarios where you were sort of breaking out hostages or prisoners, or more cat burglary where you're stealing gems and rarities, or assassinations? Where you're, what was your stick?
I assume that my thought process was that she was basically kind of seen as like an expendable asset where you send her to do like super dangerous jobs, and if she dies, it's oh well, whatever, we'll send another one.
then why would we spend so much money on this experimental biotech if we're going to throw her away?
Well, because like she can succeed, right? Like you send them to do like, I don't know. It was like a
Yeah, it's a good thought. Like, if they've invested $1 million into you, and trust me, it must be more if it's experimental biotech. But if they've invested $1 million into you, then they want to send you on a job that's going to win them $1 billion. You know, like it's too large amount of money to just throw away. Maybe you're involved in the destruction of chemical plants or research and development laboratories or kidnapping or taking out key scientists.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, cool. Well, going along one of these lines, imagine 50 years from the future, there are flying cars. Finally, should have been here fucking 20 years ago. But let's not get into that. Anyway, so here in the near future, or among the mega cities where the corporations wheel and deal in the trillions on a daily basis, tell us about a job that you ran, and then tell us about how it went wrong somewhere during that job. What's something that you were told to do, and how did you fuck it up, or did it go astray?
I think most of her jobs would be like either assassination based or like you said, like capturing people and like bringing them.
Yeah.
And like obviously like kidnapping people is probably one of the harder jobs to do because you have to
Yeah.
you have to babysit somebody who doesn't want to participate and who in cases is actively working against you.
All right. So on this particular run, this particular target, who was your target? Were they a mother, a research and development scientist, a politician? Who were they?
Yeah, I would say that they were probably they probably weren't the actual person of interest, but like maybe the wife of somebody that like the corp wanted to pressure. And so it was like somebody that like in her eyes isn't, actively involved in, this shit, but is getting dragged in.
All right. How
Like
did-
the I've taken your wife, so now you have to do what we want kind of stuff, like that.
How did you feel about this job? Did it provoke any emotional response in you?
She's like very low on essence, so she like struggles to connect with emotions, but it definitely like she doesn't really know like what her emotions are a lot of the times because she's so robotic and like, you know. But yeah, it would definitely be something that would make her, uneasy,
Okay.
even if she doesn't know exactly like why it makes her uneasy.
Yeah. Yeah, I can fully understand that. So you've still got some sort of moral code in there. You're not completely heartless, but I guess you're professional.
Yeah, like you can like feel uneasy without knowing exactly like why you're uneasy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, cool. All right. So you've been a native to Cambodia your whole life. You speak the native tongue, and it's not a very popular tongue. Certainly, no one speaks it outside of this country. That's for sure. People who move to America start speaking English. People who move to Tokyo start speaking Japanese. So it's a very niche tongue, but it's your native tongue. That would imply that you've lived here for quite a while. There are 4 cities in Cambodia that are worth mentioning, and you will have visited all of them at some stage. Phnom Penh is where you're primarily from. It's the capital, and half the people in the country probably live in this one city of Phnom Penh. It's a highly corrupt city, very poor, and whereas throughout the world there has been blooming and blossoming of cities, Phnom Penh remains stuck in the past. It's never really had an economic boom because the stimulus that might have provided that boom was taken by corrupt individuals within the government. And so there's a whole bunch of brilliant, beautiful mansions, but no actual infrastructure. There's a lot of monuments and statues, but the parks that they reside in have deteriorated to become urban wastelands. So that's the capital. Sihanoukville is a coastal city. It's the only coastal city. It's effectively a Wuxing enclave now. The corporation known as Wuxing have bought it out, and they turned it into an extraterritorial city, in essence. It's, for all effective purposes, no longer part of Cambodia. Battambang is the second biggest city by far. Phnom Penh's by far the biggest, Battambang is by far the second biggest, and then the other couple are much, much smaller. There's a war going on there, and the war began in Battambang, and it's still raging in Battambang. Officially, the battles continue, but you would know well and truly that the Khmer Rouge have long since taken over that city. It is their base of operations, and whatever the media tells you about ongoing fighting there, they've held the place for a long, long time, and they are entrenched. Their numbers there are in the hundreds, 100,000 soldiers. They have an effectively unlimited number of soldiers within Battambang that they can distribute to the rest of the country. And if they sent away 1,000 soldiers, it wouldn't make a dent in their numbers. It wouldn't even represent 1% of the forces that they could bring to muster. They don't have that many guns, though. They don't have that many weapons. That's the real problem. So they have to constantly recycle everything and build their own in some cases. They got plenty of manpower, but they don't have any manufacturing emporiums. And more importantly, they've got nothing to sell. They don't engage in foreign trade. So it's challenging for them. And finally, Siem Reap, where we are currently, it's a former tourist hub. It's about 10 kilometers away from the absolutely massive ruins of Angkor Wat. Some people say that they are the largest archaeological ruins in the world. Certainly, they're a lot bigger than the Vatican City, making them the biggest temple complex on the planet as well. That's only about 10 k's, 15 k's out of town. Indeed, Siem Reap basically exists and always has existed to service Angkor, even back in the distant past when this was a capital city of the Khmer Empire. So you've been brought in to battle the Khmer Rouge. Can you tell me why they chose you?
I assume I've been generally causing issues for, Khmer Rouge, like not anything major, obviously, like one person by themselves, even a super soldier isn't going to do a whole amount. But I assume they would have heard word of a drugged out super soldier causing some issues and maybe decided that that was a good investment.
Just decided to pay her to keep doing what she's been doing.
Sounds good. So, unfortunately, 20,000 million, which is how much they have a bounty for, as I understand, is a lot of money to them. It's a lot of money to them. It's like 4 times the annual average wage. People might be lucky to make 5,000 million a year over there, and this is 4 times that annual wage. You must have done some really bad shit to make such a hefty price tag. How did you piss off these Stone Age communists?
I assume that after I got out, I was doing all kinds of shit, like ambushing fucking
Nice.
like raiding weapon dumps, like anything I could figure out.
Perfect. That's excellent. And hitting convoys, raiding ammunition dumps. These are things that will really hurt this insurgency. You can take out 100 soldiers and no one's going to give a fuck. You take out 100 guns, you take out 100 rockets, you've just made 100 men useless.
Yeah, I figure I know that their issue is like weapons and stuff, and so I've identified that that's the easiest way to like piss them.
Brilliant.
And in my mind, I'm basically just pissing them off until eventually I get killed doing something. But I figure I'll thumb my nose at them a bit before that happens.
All right. Now there's a bounty on your head, and you've heard of another group. You might have even been there in the market when it happened. A fight broke out between some foreigners. I don't know if you thought that they were anything more than dickheads or backpackers or sex tourists or something. Maybe all three. And a fight broke out between some of these guys and some of the locals. It was pretty graphic. There were bullets flying everywhere. There was a guy with a chainsaw. You heard later that someone was throwing snakes. Typical Khmer exaggeration. These guys survived the fight. They took care of their assailants remarkably well. And perhaps you would like to hook up with them. Yeah. Alternatively, the Khmer government can simply assign you to the party. They might know who you are somehow. So what do you think? How would you like to enter the group?
It'd probably be an assignment. I feel like on her own she wouldn't seek out other people, but if if she was working with the government already and they suggested that this would be a way for her to like take on more ambitious projects, then she could probably be on board with that.
Perfect. Well, you were in the market that day when the fight broke out, and on that day, the governor already put the proposition to you. They say, look, there's these paramilitants that have come into town. They need a little bit of heavy lifting. They need someone with some demolitions, for example, some infiltration. And we figured that you'd be the perfect spare wheel on their war machine. Why don't you go and spend a day observing them? We don't want to throw you in the deep end, so why don't you go and watch them for a day, try to gauge whether these are the sort of people that you can work with. And so, yeah, you see them get attacked by a guy with a chainsaw or a couple of assault rifles, several submachine guns, some dudes wielding machetes in one hand and pistols in the other. And they take care of them all. Indeed, when they've finished subduing the enemy, one of their magicians, then turns to healing the injured using their magical powers to save the lives of children and of old women. What do you, when you come back to the government briefing, what answer do you give Mr. White?
Yeah, they seem like they are competent enough. And if it lets me take on projects that I wouldn't be able to do by myself, I'm down.
All right. Then he says, dress yourself up really nice. Put on some good clothing. I will send you up to meet them.
Okay, I own about one change of clothing, and it's the armor jacket, so this figures that's good enough.
When you come out with your armor jacket, he gets angered and he doesn't personally give it to you, but gives you 100 million to go and buy yourself a dress.
Okay. I seem pretty confused about it, but if that's what he wants, like whatever. I have to, look up
Goes
like
out.
where to buy dresses because I've never done that before, but I'm sure I can figure it out.
You go down to
Don't
the
go and spend it on kamikaze.
hell yeah.
I got a bunch right now. I'm chilling.
You go down to the market where the chainsaws and the snakes and the bullets were happening. Like They sell dresses there.
All right, I pick my way through the rubble of this fucking super mall, try to find a dress store that's intact.
And people have already like gone back to work, gone back to business. The military police are picking through the rubble and trying to get some clues. Not that they need a lot of them. It's really much cake clothes. But people have already moved back in and reopened their stores. Their sense of mercantile duty overriding their sense of survival. And yeah, so there's a whole bunch of imported fashions from Japan and China and America and Europe. Nothing from Australia. What did they invent? Like the board shorts? I don't know. Went out of fashion a long time ago. Oh, the Ugg boots went out of fashion even longer ago. So what sort of things do you want to buy?
Mana Storms. We invented Mana Storms.
It's probably whichever store she finds first, and then she asks who's ever working there for advice, and then you know how you're supposed to like haggle for stuff like that, like they always try to charge you too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just pays whatever they tell them that's the price, because she doesn't know how this works.
Then she wants to sell you shoes as well.
Talking about haggling, one of my cousins went to Egypt and haggled with someone for 45 minutes and then decided not to buy the item, and the person basically shouted at her until she left the store.
Nice.
She thinks about it. She kind of like looks at like her ratty combat boots, and she's like, okay, I guess that makes sense.
Oh,
So
and
she pays full price for a pair of shoes.
oh, a handbag from Italy, genuine Gucci.
No, we're good. We're good. We got the dress. We got
What was that?
I said we're good on the bag. We don't need a bag.
It's real snake skin.
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter.
But but snake skin, has great power. It's magic. Magic handbag. Only 20 million.
She just kind of like stares at this lady, and the lady like talks about.
She smiles. She's missing her front two teeth.
So after eventually convincing this lady that she's not going to buy it, she'll buy her dress and her shoes, and she'll head back to wherever she's supposed to be.
All right. So Mr. White's much happier when he sees that you've got strapless shoulders and something that accentuates your figure. Good. We do not want you going into the Hilton dressed as you are, like some street gang thug. You must look like a lady so that you blend into the crowd.
She nods. That
Whatever.
makes sense.
Very well. He gets in contact with. Is Mako in control of communications or Godfather?
Probably Mako.
All right.
You're running the pan with the team, right? I'm mostly running my own.
If you're talking about the Hilton, Mako would be better anyway, because that's where she stays. Whereas
You're absolutely right.
Neo tends to be at the
Compound.
backyard.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out. That's because he would certainly see the logic in that. So Mako, you get a message. I am sending up a friend.
A friend. Yeah. Do you have a picture or give him a passcode or something to tell us, like pastrami. Have them tell us that they've got the pastrami for us.
Yes. Very good. And
The minister loves this spy shit.
he cuts the communication right there because, as you say, he loves this spy shit. So, Jez, Flash, you're given like a plate of cold Italian spiced meats, olives, and some cheese, and a bottle of wine to take up to this room. He instructs you that you'll be traveling to the Hilton. You check in and go and deliver this food to your new teammates.
Does he tell me about the passphrase?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You must tell them that you are there to deliver the pastrami.
All right, excellent. Flash is pretty sure that she can do that. She's pretty.
All right. Do you have any thoughts while you're walking through this five-star hotel, dressed to the nines? You walk past like a mirrored wall, and there you are in your silk dress and your high heels, carrying a platter fit for a Roman emperor. Do you have any thoughts?
She feels very strange. This is definitely not in the norm for her.
She's probably also got like 2 duffel bags.
So, do you knock? Do you ring the bell? How do you and you get them to open the door?
She probably knocks. I think she's a knocker.
Who is it?
I'm here with the pastrami.
Mako, you order room service.
A gift from Mr. White, I think.
I'll open the door.
He's sending someone over.
So, as a woman wearing a dress, but like I expect that she's got big, broad shoulders and more meat and muscle on her than the average room servant.
She's body 5, strength 6.
Ah,
So she's like
like a
fucking
bodybuilder.
the Russian woman from the fuck, I can't even remember the movie. I think Austin Powers, like the huge Russian chick. I wanna crush you.
What's her agility reaction like?
8 and
Pretty
5.
high as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
she,
you look
She
like
drugs.
an
she's not gonna be like
Olympian.
over muscled or anything. She'll be just toned as fuck,
Just looks like a fucking Olympian.
like an MMA fighter.
Yeah, yeah.
She's got like cuts all over her arms and stuff. Like scar, not cuts, but like scars.
Does she have any obvious cyberware, like any cyber limbs or?
I don't know what's not any cyber limbs. I don't know what's obvious and what's not. You'll have to ask me.
Like cyber eyes and cyber ears, if they're not decent grades
Yeah.
or stand out. Cyber limbs, if they're not synthetic, are pretty much always, you just can't hide that shit.
You have
General
cyber ears
armor.
and cyber.
She has actually, aside from her muscles are kind of unnaturally bulky in the way that muscle
Muscle replacement.
replacement tends to look.
Yeah.
And she they're not exactly well hidden, but very high grade like combat looking cyber eyes.
Is that strength 5 before or after the replacement?
After, or it's strength 6 after the replacement.
Yeah.
Other than that, though,
Tightly corded muscle. Yeah, cool.
yeah. Actually,
Thermal
other
plate?
than that, though, damn near every ortho skin.
Yeah, so pretty much indistinguishable. Yeah, cool. Sweet as.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. I'll take all that in and open the door, step aside.
Yeah, you look surprisingly normal for the amount of shit that's in you.
I didn't go with the fucking the metallic chainsaw arm.
How are you holding the tray of meat?
Very awkwardly.
Is it like a tray or is it like a package Arctic?
It's a tray, yeah.
I'll take the tray off you as you walk in.
That's a plus.
She kind of nods and she like walks in, kind of like looking around. She seems wary, as anybody walking into a room like this probably would be.
Bar is still here at this stage, or do you send her away when you know that someone's coming?
Who's that? That's the Omen's companion, isn't it?
I thought it was Omen's companion, but is it Mako's companion now?
Both, I think.
We can share.
Whoever's paying the
Yeah.
money.
Well, Omen's paying the money, but we can share.
He's getting cut, but he's paying the money. So she's like she's there when you turn up.
I'll ask you if you want a drink.
No, thank you.
Yeah, probably. I mean, maybe she's a good excuse why Omen's not with us at the
Good call.
moment. Mako's probably wearing like a pair of like gym shorts and one of Omen's shirts, and she'll kind of make her way over and join the two. So yeah. So Mr. White sent you?
Yeah, he said y'all had a crew.
Hmm.
Seemed to think I would be of use to you.
I assume you're speaking Khmer, right? At the moment.
Yeah, right now.
So Mako's Khmer is really broken, but she speaks it barely. She'll ask, what other languages do you speak? English, Cantonese, Spanish?
I speak English. It's like it's 8, and then I specialize in speaking, so whatever that translates to in game.
Like
Nice. That's like
professor level by the sound of it. Right. I mean, yeah, I don't know, but it certainly sounds like a lot.
Yeah. You couldn't have a high scientific conversation, but other than that, you're pretty much good.
She's better at
Okay.
speaking it than writing it or reading it.
That's fine. I'll switch over to English then and say, Mako, this here's Ricochet. Omen's in our room over there. He'll be out a bit. The rest of us are off-site. So,
Did you say you wanted a drink, Mako, by the way? Sorry.
oh yeah, sure.
What do you normally drink?
God, probably whatever we have, which is probably everything. Tequila. Something tequila based.
Probably don't have tequila, but I'll get you like some rice spirits.
That's fucked. But fine as well.
I'll put it with some orange juice.
Yeah, I would like I have like a big huge duffel bag, and I like set it up against the wall. Sounds really heavy. But casually lifting it with one hand, it kind of clunks. She sets it down. And then she kind of
I'm missing most of what Jez is saying. Is it the same for everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotten really quiet.
oh, is it? There's
Yeah, it's still really quiet.
Yeah, you might have some issue.
Is this any better?
Much better.
Much better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sometimes the little I like headphones plug in at the headphones and at the back of the computer, and sometimes one or the other gets like,
It's faded again. Yeah, still not happening.
Alright, give me 2 seconds.
3 out of 10. I have an onboard microphone, so I'm going to have to get a proper one eventually.
Okay, what about this?
Pretty good.
Any good or still really quiet?
It's better. It's definitely better.
Okay, I don't know what else to mess with. So
All right. So can you say what you did? You leaned something against the wall, I think.
yeah, I assume I have like a big duffel bag full of like my stuff.
Yeah, sure. Like the concierge tried to help you with it, but you don't need any help. And you're a lot bigger than he is. He's only 5'2" tall.
Yeah, so like when she like sets it up against the wall, like it clucks down, sounds like super heavy. It's like really like it's like a very large looking duffel bag, but she's like casually carrying it with one hand. And she just kind of stands there awkwardly because she's not very good with people.
So, yeah, Mako sends a text to Godfather, which I threw in the Roll20 chat. But she'll ask, what I guess what kind of work do you do? White wasn't really forthcoming or explain much to us.
Is he ever?
Infiltration and breaking most. Been waging a bit of a one-person war the last few years. Nothing spectacular, mostly ambushes, stuff like that.
All right. Well, I'm getting in touch with one of our other folks. See what he wants to do with you. If you want, we can send you down to him. You might fit. You might like it down there better, actually. But in the meantime, you want a drink, food, have some sausage. You brought some up, so feel free to take some.
Whatever you all think is best.
What about you, Ricochet?
I'm already eating a sausage.
Yeah, dig in.
Yeah, on that note, actually, sorry, Mako, what are the sleeping arrangements these days? Because I know I've got a room. Do you still have your own room, or are you sharing with Omen?
Sharing with Omen.
Okay, so that means we got a free bedroom here if she wants, I think.
I think Fenway's sleeping here too, right? Or is he at the camp?
I think I was at the. I'm not sure where my character sleeps. Like, he's fine either place.
Okay.
I think we made him stay at the compound for the rat, didn't we? And the dogs. I think the dogs were there.
Because if I'm planning getting animals, I doubt the Hilton will be very happy by bringing like large, dangerous animals constantly.
Yeah,
but it's okay, Fenway, because you've got your choice of top or bottom bunk in the kid's bedroom.
I mean, it's top bunk, obviously.
Obviously.
He's probably bottom bunk, because I don't think the rat can the rat climb up the frame.
Oh yeah, he's a agile little rat.
Because he got pretty fat because I left him alone for a few.
Yeah, he's pretty afraid of snakes. Let me tell you that. Like he's got a bit of a snake complex. They're everywhere. These Siamese serpents. All right. So, how much information are you going to give this new operative about who you are and what you do? Are you bringing them more or less completely up to speed?
I want to know what she knows.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What does she know? You can know everything that's available as within the data. So you don't have to read it now, but if these guys know it, then you know it. Now I just shared two of them, but this is probably the only one that you should look at for now because it's the smallest by far. So this one called Siam Reap Assets. Red team basically means the Khmer Rouge, I suppose. It might not be that simple, but let's keep it basic. So red team means the Khmer Rouge. Yellow team means not the Khmer Rouge. As you can see, the red team's got the airport. They own the market. That's kind of obvious, I suppose, now. The South City, which is the poorer part of the town, the road to Angkor, which is just as it sounds like, it's the 10-kilometer strip that you got to drive down to get to the ruins. Pyramid, Pyramid is a nightclub here in town. Khmer Repairs, we own that now. It's on the yellow team now. Crocodile Farm, that's a place where they've got a really big crocodile farm around here. It's one of the major employers. It's a big enterprise. It's a big place. They have visitors come, tourists and stuff, but that's only small bickies compared to the crocodiles themselves. Their meat's not worth much, but their leather, genuine crocodile leather, is worth a lot. Unfortunately, the Khmer Rouge have had a real problem exporting this crocodile leather. They can't find any buyers. So if only they could get their crocodile leather to market over in Italy or France, then they could make a lot of money. But yeah, as I said, they've got a real problem with distribution. As the crocodile farm, Tonle Sap is a big lake. It's one of the largest lakes in the world. It's certainly the biggest lake in Southeast Asia, and it's fed by the Mekong River. Big old Mekong comes through, makes a huge lake, particularly during the flood season. Right now, it's a monsoon, so Tonle Sap is huge right now, massive lake. And it's really important because there's a lot of fish there. The Cambodian people basically eat rice and fish, and that's pretty much all they ever eat. And so if they don't get both rice and fish, they're going to be malnourished because you can't live on rice alone. Elephant Reserve is a place where tourists come and see elephants. You've heard that there are some weird shit going on up there. They lost their biggest elephant. His name is Jupiter. He's like this king bull, and most people don't keep bull elephants. It's a bad idea. You keep the females. They're a lot more placid, a lot more malleable. This is something a Cambodian would know because elephants are like the state symbol of Cambodia. So yeah, they had this. They used to keep this massive bull elephant called Jupiter, but it got away and killed a bunch of people, and now it's rampaging through the jungle. They'll never get it back again. And finally, Sampao Tunnels is a network of tunnels underneath the ground over in Battambang, that city that it gets mentioned now and then, the Khmer headquarters. And so if you can think of the Khmer Rouge having a city, like big open city without any walls or anything, their main way of attacking is through the tunnels. So if anyone was to try to storm the city or besiege it, they'd just go through the tunnel network, come up behind them, and hit them from 4 different directions at once. So yeah, that's a bit of information that you can bring to the table.
Cool. Yeah, anything that the government has given her as information that would screw with Rouge, she would be pretty happy to share. She doesn't really care who does the screwing of the Khmer Rouge as long as they're the ones getting screwed. So she doesn't have a huge amount of trust for the group yet. She's like, she figures it's not going to harm anybody but the Khmer Rouge if they find out this stuff. So she's happy.
Perfect. So this new contact spills her guts on everything that she knows, reveals some things that you didn't know, maybe suspected, but had no evidence of. It gives you a bit of intel that you haven't yet gathered, and She probably mentions as well that she heard about you landing in the airport. She saw you fighting in the market. So if you guys want to play that out, then by all means do so. If you don't, this is an opportunity to skip it. I'll let you guys decide how involved you want to get the meeting to be.
I'll leave that up to Jez, so probably.
It's fine either way. My issue is like I don't know a whole lot out of character. But in character, I would know, so it's hard for me to like.
That's good, mate.
How much has White told her about us?
I don't think a lot, but I think that she's smart enough to have figured out a bit herself. Like, she's been following you and without you realizing it. She hasn't hacked your data or anything that I'm aware of. So she's kind of relying on instinct. But she might have interrogated the Khmer Rouge soldier and shaken him down about what he knows about you guys. So the short answer is not a lot.
But like she knows what we're here for and everything.
Yeah, she's seen you, get jumped by the Khmer Rouge. She knows that you guys are the paramilitants who came in on a fucking plane and crash landed and got away in a machine gun laden vehicle, and now you're living with the government. Like she knows enough to know that you are Mr. White's little Americano lapdogs.
All right, sweet as. Happy to have you on the team.
Yeah. Godfather may have a little bit of work to get your legs wet, your feet wet, I suppose. He's on his way over right now, actually.
Does the dress look comfortable?
He's like messing with it. It's like very clear that she has like not worn anything like this.
I point to the spare room. There's a room there if you want to change.
She nods appreciatively and goes and changes back into her armored jacket, her normal clothing.
She comes out looking like a comfortable runner.
And I guess if Godfather's going down to the Hilton, I've got my character has nothing better to do, and I suppose you'll go too.
All right, so you're all there. By the time she finishes changing, the other guys have arrived.
She may or may not have ruined the dress trying to figure out how to get out of it.
Ripping of fabric comes from the next room.
So, I probably missed it, but what should we call you?
Flash.
Flash is fine.
Flash. All right. Well, Flash,
Yeah.
this is the rest of the gang here. This is Godfather. Who else would have come up?
I came up with it.
This is
Oh, I'm Fenway.
Fen?
Like a pleasure to meet you. Oh, who ordered olives? And you'll just eat one.
They're good olives.
That was courtesy of Mr. White.
Oh, that was nice of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, who says this job doesn't have perks?
For your olives. So my cat, he looks a bit strange, and he's an elf, and his face has been burnt by something. Like, quite badly.
Yeah.
Scars probably still look fresh.
Yeah.
So
Godfather's a pretty standard looking human with some extensive cyber headwear. Kind of small, lanky guy with like a headset on.
Nods to everyone as they introduce themselves.
So
I was just a pretty bulky orc. Probably would have been wearing a singlet and fatigues.
and you look like one of the natives. right?
Probably not. He does have Mexican. You'd have a like a Latino background.
Let's be honest, all orcs look the same.
Pretty much.
I think if you look like you're sort of native, my character, he'll introduce himself in Kaimer, and he sounds like a native as well. But he's clearly not a native. He's from England or something. He looks like he's from England.
I probably look like
You
a
saying he has
native on.
bad teeth?
I
Excuse
probably
me?
look like a native on steroids.
How about the way you dress and stuff?
The dress, I don't really know what the standard norm, but it's probably like it's very functional. Tank top and then like the armor jacket. Nothing for fabric or comfort. It's literally all like cheap, well made.
So it's built to last.
It looks like it looks like it's stuff that gets messed up fairly frequently. It's nothing to like actually care about.
Okay, and I guess
Stuff-
as they're speaking, Fenway will take the platter around and offer it to people.
You're taking the platter from Ricochet.
I thought it was just on a table or something, and I was just going to
He
take.
is very displeased.
No, I thought it was on a.
It is
I
on a
thought it was on a
table?
table, and I was going to take it around to people.
I imagine he's hovered over it on the table like he's some sort of dog who thinks it hasn't eaten in weeks, but just got like a new friend, even though he eats regularly. Probably growls at you as you reach for it.
Probably more of a dirty look.
Well, sure.
Like offer an olive to Godfather, probably hasn't taken anything yet.
So, Godfather, you want to give a rundown on this little trip you have planned?
Blueprints for the airport have a storm drain leading out about 3 clicks from it, which is out of their defensive perimeter. If we can access it, we can use it to get our man into the subterranean maintenance tunnels to carry out the gas attack. We're going to need to go down there and see if it's usable, and if it's not, get a read on how hard it'll be to clear it. I got a diving suit just in case we can bring it along, but need someone a bit more athletically inclined than me, along with some muscle in case things get hairy.
And you know how to dive?
I take the silence as a no.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
All right. I'll
So,
come along then.
and you know how to swim?
I know how to dive.
Oh shit, you know how to dive? Dope.
I got 10 dice at diving as well. If you need.
Fuck, more
Just got
than one of us know how to dive. That is surprising. Okay.
Well, it's linked to body. I need to put 1 point into it to get 10.
Yeah, you got more dice than me just because you have more body. But is it can you default on that one? Probably.
Yeah, most like athletic type things you can default on.
Diving you can default on, yes.
Cool.
Yeah, Ricochet, you're probably our man for this then.
Yeah, you'll be better off.
Also, probably the biggest though, so it is a confined space.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I can go down too. I don't mind.
Alright, cool. And we'll bring Jez along to watch our backs. So we've learned from the market, go in groups and bring weapons. Let's try not to make too much of a scene though, so let's take the truck.
Probably want to Maybe we should wait for nightfall.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea too. So yeah, Godfather has shit he has to do, so he's gonna leave and go back to Nightfall if you guys want to continue doing your stuff.
You want to take a Flash here down to the compound, get her squared away.
Yeah, probably best you keep your equipment there. Yeah, come on. Take you to the compound.
She follows along.
Yeah, he takes you out to like a beat ass ghetto pickup truck that seems to have been sort of hastily repaired and made operational, and drives you to like a walled sort of cross between like a compound and a junkyard with a shitload of turrets along the walls. And as we ride up, I'm going to snap a photo over with my cyber eyes and input it to the turret facial recognition.
Safe
then-
target list.
Yep, save target list. And then drive into the compound.
How far is the compound from the hotel, actually, by the way?
Not very far, probably 2 kilometres, 3 kilometres, maybe about 3 kilometres.
So
If you were going by rooftop, it'd only be 1 kilometre, but going through the network, 3.
It'd be a decent walk, though, yeah.
Yeah, still more than a kilometre to walk. Though.
Yeah, there will be a lot of night errant guys around the place, which with your core prejudice you probably don't like. Yeah, your call though. But other than that, yeah, it's like a garage slash converted military base. It's weird. And he takes you to a sort of room that like he seems to have claimed as his own, that has a lot of weapons and armor, and like there's a loading bench with half-made bullets on it. And he's like, you got weapons or anything like that you need to keep and don't want to keep bringing past the hotel security, you can store them here.
Yeah, she nods and pulls out the sniper rifle. She's not really willing to give up the shotgun.
How about the chainsaw?
Oh, that one never goes to the side, dude. Unless it has.
Right, well, you can hang out here until nightfall, or I can drive you back to the hotel.
This is more my speed.
Right, grab a bunk then.
I find a corner somewhere with like a window.
Oh, there's also like 20 child soldiers who have built a crude shack barracks out in the yard. Notable feature of the place.
They've got the corpses of all these massive rats hanging up there, their skins splayed out to make leather.
I just picturing like a Mad Max camp, like they're all wearing like leather hides and shit.
Probably finds a corner where she can.
The leaders of the children have like the leaders of
They
the
get a
children have
dwarf
like,
tied up and they're poking him with a stick.
you remember how this place was guarded by cyber dogs? The leaders of the kids have taken the top of the dog skulls and are using them as shoulder pads.
It's fucking Fallout. Anyway.
Hey, Neo, do we leave any of the vehicles at the hotel, or do they all tend to stay at the compound?
I tend to keep them at the compound because I don't want them getting harassed by those street vendors.
Oh no, they've got a parking garage at the hotel, don't they?
Yeah, there's an underground parking garage.
Even
Keep the
still,
black van here, maybe.
The car parks are not very big. It's pretty tight. So
No, that's if we don't have one here. I was thinking maybe we should just get just a car to leave there as well in case we need transport to that and I go by on a compound.
you can buy a shit car for 2,000. You can buy a better car for 8,000.
yeah, I mean, the way Godfather refers to it is just if you need a ride, he can send a car to you. He doesn't even have to drive it himself, technically.
Yeah, but if we ever need to make a quick getaway, it wouldn't be hurt to have a vehicle here.
And we have more than one car. We
Yeah,
might as well
you
leave
can
one in
keep the
both
van there.
locations.
I'm happy to buy another car because I can drive a little bit anyway. So
Yeah.
and it's
I mean, we got a spare vehicle we barely use, but yeah, if you want
We've only
a
got-
civilian vehicle, sure.
we've only got 2 vehicles though, I think, haven't we? Total.
We've
If
got
you
the
count the
Bulldog,
APC.
GMC, and
Oh
We
yeah,
also got we got a dirt bike.
I was just thinking because it'd be good for you to have the van, but then also an inconspicuous vehicle where you are as well. So if we haven't got a third vehicle, I think we should get a third
Did
vehicle
you-
for here.
Did you repair the GMC, like its windscreen and the bullet holes, that sort of
Yeah,
stuff?
remember
did,
we
right?
went to.
Yeah,
That's why we first went to Camaro repairs.
yeah, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure that seemed to be this. It would have been a fair amount of work, but you did spend a fair bit of time there. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
right. We got that one. Yeah, so we do have 3
Yeah.
vehicles. Yeah.
yeah.
I think fixing it up and used his equipment. That's why I first went to Camaro repairs. I was like,
They're pretty. They're strong, bulldogs. They're good. They're good. Maybe they're much better suited to the street though than they are to driving through rice paddies. But even so,
They're a good stereotypical rigger vehicle, starter vehicle.
yeah.
I mean, they are
Any
the
cruise.
stereotype rigger van. Yeah, that's like just the iconic, the elite team van with the fucking computer bank and the hacker in it.
Yeah. Do you have any markings, or is it just a pure black? You would have been able to paint it however you wanted during the refurbishment.
Probably would have repainted it something other than government black. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Is there any common vehicle color around?
Mud brown.
Yeah, he probably go mud brown and then deliberately scuff and chip up the paint.
Oh yeah.
Like
You still look like a much better car than anyone else has got though. Like at least you don't stand out like that.
It has 4 wheels. Come on.
Exactly, and it doesn't have one of those wooden frames that links it to the tractor engine. But yeah, you still do look like upper middle class.
Fair enough.
Who cares? Means people
So
get
which one do we want to leave at the hotel?
You leave the van.
This Bulldog?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
All right.
Yeah, it's armored transport, and if I need armored transport, I got the APC.
Yeah. All right.
I probably would have driven to the compound after you then, just to do some more work on the ammo.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Godfather will keep working ammo until nightfall.
All right. Well, you've got time on your side, right? Nothing has to be done according to any schedule. You're probably already ahead of schedule, I'd say. Right. So it takes you a couple of days to get the bullets fabricated and shape and all the whatever else is involved. Are you intending to just stay low until the first paycheck comes in, or once the bullets are done in, let's say, 3 days after meeting Flash, are you ready to to use them?
Well, we wanted to wait until nightfall tonight to go check something out.
All right, no worries. So, like, the bullets, the process of fabricating the bullets has only just begun. It's a couple of hours after meeting Flash. 6 hours perhaps, maybe a little longer. It's now nightfall. It's raining. It's always fucking raining. But this time it's raining quite heavily. There's the occasional flash of lightning that provides illumination. Not a lot of thunder. It's far enough away that it's just lightning, but the lightning is frequent up in the mountains, out in the jungle.
Perfect.
Who's doing the dive?
Either one of us can. Doesn't really matter to me.
I think probably Mako's better off just because she'll fit better.
Yeah.
In the tunnels and be more maneuverable, and I will come anyway because I will provide help provide Overwatch.
Yeah.
Just in case something happens.
Also take Jez along.
Yeah, so I'll slip into my chameleon suit and grab my shit and load up with everyone.
Roger. Okay. So the drain pipe empties about 3 kilometres away from the airport. The Khmer Rouge maintain roughly 2 kilometre area. They've got constant, they've got security over a 1 kilometre band around the airport in all directions. In the 1 kilometre band beyond that, they have basically emptied the countryside. No one lives in those huts. No one farms those rice fields. No one drives on those roads because they get fucking shot, or they blow up in the landmines that have begun to be planted. They haven't planted a lot of them yet, but they've started planting mines, and it just keeps people out. Your hut, Ricochet, is within that 2nd kilometre band, not the one that they've secured, but the one that they've emptied. Beyond that, you got civilization again. You've got your little sari stores selling their single serves of cornflakes and shampoo. You've got people doing a little bit of motorbike repairs, replacing batteries and headlights, that sort of stuff. And you've got people living 10 people to a room in a single tiny thatch hut made of bamboo. It's raining heavy. The rice paddies have flooded. What vehicle are we using to drive through what's basically a swamp, a rice swamp?
The heavy duty pickup.
All right. How is it in the mud? Like, it's good in the water and it's good, but like, how does it function in 2-foot deep mud, 50 centimeter deep mud?
Its off-road handling is 5, which is very high.
It really is, right? So, what is the basic structure of this vehicle? Like, what's its? How does it have like a raised frame? I'm trying to. Does it look like 4-wheel drive? What does it look like?
Let me. I think I have a picture somewhere.
Yeah.
Is there anything this vehicle can't do?
No, not really.
If you look at the drones, etc., Toyota Gopher down low and click on it, I have a token.
Gopher sounds like unassuming.
Yeah, kind of a light, zippy, heavy lifted off-road truck.
Honestly, we can park a bit short and just walk in too. It's probably not a terrible thing.
Yeah, that thing is brilliant for going over the mud. Yeah, and okay, so you're going to maybe get within, say, 500 meters or a kilometer or something, and then just walk the rest of the way. Probably a sensible idea.
Yeah, probably don't want the engine noises to tip them off either.
Yeah. All right. Because this place is 3 kilometers away from the airport, that puts it beyond the second band, and that means that this is civilization, such as it is in Cambodia. The city of Siem Reap is linked by a series of canals. Now, ideally, these canals are meant to serve as a drainage system so that when these heavy rain comes, all the water flows out and reaches the Mekong and Tonle Sap and enters the environment. But unfortunately, all of the sewers are clogged. Like everything is just all clogged, full of so much shit, plastic bags and old everything. That's right. And so the whole place just turns into a series of dams instead of canals, and the whole place gets really flooded really easily. And as you go through the south side of town, you can see that people's houses are already, flooding, and they're lining sandbags up to protect their little neighbourhoods. But the further you get out, the worse it becomes until you reach where it's mostly rice paddies, and these things are underwater, but you're able to divert and go through some back roads until you get to about 1 kilometre away, maybe a bit less. But even here, people still live here. They've only got bamboo huts, but a lot of those bamboo huts stand on stilts. So even now, as the water levels rise to 50 centimetres, 75 centimetres, they've still got a bit of clearance between the floor and the ground because the whole thing's built on four sticks that holds the whole building up. So it's this kind of rice paddies mixed with 4-person pole homes environment that you're in right now. And because it's good rice farming country, people farm all the way up to the very edge of where the drain is. And then in normal times, they probably get some water from that drain, but these aren't normal times. They got water everywhere. So now that you've got an idea for what it looks like, flooded rice paddies, people in these very simple pole homes all over the place, everybody inside because it's raining, but dogs, are going to bark and roosters are going to crow. How are you going to get to the sewer?
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea to approach because they see us. There's a chance we may be blown to the Khmer, and we really don't want that. We could try having Mako or Ricochet suit up from a distance, approach underwater, and see what the situation's like from there.
Sounds good to me.
All right, both or just you, Mako?
I'll go. I don't know. I can't speak for Ricochet.
I think if one of us goes, we're less likely to be spotted than if we both go.
What's going on?
We are scouting the drain pipe.
Yeah. I'll give you a scuba suit, a mini welder, a flashlight, and a survival knife.
I've got all of that except for the. I'll take the mini welder and the at least the breathing apparatus. I'll use my own suit for.
Okay.
All right. Like some ninja during the Tokugawa shogunate, you're making your way through the submerged rice paddies. Only that you are using breathing apparatus instead of having to breathe through a straw.
Yeah.
Occasionally, you have to get out of the water and go from one rice paddy to the next. They're separated by plots of land that are elevated so that you can walk along them in between the rice paddies during periods just like this. So you're going to be going in and out of the water, in and out of the water. You're going to be weaving past these little shacks with their dogs and their buffalo the whole time. How are you going to do this? You've got 1 kilometre to cover. You've got equipment to keep you underneath the water. Or do you have any I guess what's your technique?
I think going submerged, then kind of pausing, waiting for a few moments before crossing these embankments, these between patties. Make sure no one's around before kind of just creeping over.
All right. How much air have you got? Like how many hours?
That's a good question. How many hours does it have?
I think base, and I have an additional air tank, so 2 hours.
Okay.
Right. You got 2 hours of air. You've got a kilometre to cross in each direction. Walking speed is like what, 5 kilometres an hour, roughly.
Yeah, I'll limit the air use as much as I need to, but yeah.
Okay, cool. You're not using a lot of metabolism, so it's reasonable to assume that you can slow your breathing down. So let's start with your first stealth check.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good place to start.
So I have the jungle specialty. Would that apply to this or not?
Yeah. This is not technically a jungle, but it's effectively, in practice, the same. You're still moving through submerged vegetation.
Yeah, there's a lot of boggy, marshy areas and parts of the jungle. So
Precisely. Yeah.
hey.
Plenty of-
So my
Alright.
limit is actually 6 with this chameleon suit on as well.
Brilliant.
That more than succeeds. Well,
Yeah.
I hope.
Well, it should do. The penalties that people will have for spotting you, or dogs will have for spotting you, will be pretty extreme. So that should be enough to get you through here. Let's see if you're able to meditate or control your breathing in some way that slows your metabolism down. What might you use for that?
Well, I have the diving skill, which I think is probably the most appropriate skill I have.
Totally is, right? Like, most people will panic just by nature. They'll be excited to be underneath the water, but you're a professional. So yeah, make a diving skill check.
That was one hit.
All right. So you remember your basic training, but your basic training didn't cover this scenario, right? And so you keep your you don't panic, you keep yourself under control. But if you go slowly, you're going to spend an hour getting there and an hour getting back. That doesn't leave you a lot of leeway. How does that fit in with your plans?
Well, so I've got this gene mod called hyperglucogen, which basically means that I don't suffer fatigue nearly as fast as normies do. In fact, I suffer fatigue twice as slowly, so it takes twice as long for me to get fatigued. So I'm not going to worry too much about going faster because I'm pretty confident that I'll have the endurance to keep going, right?
And look, if you run out of air, how far away are you from the surface?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not the worst scenario to find yourself in.
Yeah. I'll plan on limiting myself to, if I use one tank, then I will stop using the submerging, or swimming fully underwater.
All right.
I'll go in bursts, So I'll make sure I have one tank left to explore the pipe.
Well, let's do a. Do you have something like land navigation or something else that could?
I do.
Yeah, great. Land navigation. Map your way through this swamp of rice. Brilliant. And you picked the most. You picked the best path, which is like through an irrigation channel, and you just follow this irrigation channel. Dogs have no interest in going outside. The pigs don't notice you as you go past. All right, that's particularly useful. It'll tell you that there is very little current. Anyway, so you follow your way to this toxic swamp where the drain has been emptying shit for decades. Do you have some low light vision?
I do, and I have a low light flashlight as well.
Brilliant. So what you're able to see with your superior vision is that this pipe is probably about 2.5 meters in diameter. So it's so big that if you stood in it, you'd have to reach up to touch the roof. It's a big pipe. But the whole thing has a grate on it. And that grate, the holes are about 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, but the rusty steel is held in place in most parts, collecting junk, all sorts of junk. It began with hair and then became boxes and rat corpses and so on and so forth. And now the whole thing has just become clogged. But it's all underwater. If this wasn't the monsoon, you'd be able to, probably get in there and clear it out. Not that they'd bother. But now with the whole thing's underneath water, you're in effectively you're in a lake that's about 3 meters, 4 meters deep, and this is just filled with shit. Old tires and motorbike hulks and all sorts of junk. So here you are in a toxic swamp. There's this massive iron grate, which is pretty severely rusted, but nonetheless strong enough to hold. And it's all been blocked by sort of junk. What do you do?
So I've got a magnetic anomaly sensor or detector and ultrasound on my helmet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use that to help just get a picture of what exactly is going on there, and maybe see if there's any good way I can gauge to, I guess, clear it out or make an open.
Oh, sure. Make some sort of tool or science check that would help you analyze the data or use your kit effectively.
Yeah, let me see what I got that would work good. Maybe the most applicable would be hardware. Otherwise, I think that one would be pretty.
Warfare?
I do have electronic warfare. Well, that would be for the sensors, yeah. Actually, that would be perfect for the sensors.
Electronic warfare test.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's not unusual. I can see how that works.
Yeah. Using sensors is always electronic warfare.
Yeah.
Four hits.
Yeah, brilliant. So you get a bit of a scan around, and to your relief, there's no giant snakes or urban crocodiles living in there, stuff like that. There's some big lizards, about 40, 50 centimeters long, a whole bunch of them. But there's no Titan boas. So yeah, the metal frame is pretty severely rusted and could be broken off in segments pretty easily. The entire thing isn't clogged like a bathroom plug. Far from it. It's there's still flow going through, but enough of it is blocked that it's maybe 50%, something like that, maybe 60%. Yeah. So some of it is rubber tires, some of it is just great big lumps of hair covered in fat. How do you deal with it, obviously? How do you plan to deal with it?
Well, I think probably clearing away a section for me to use the mini welder that Godfather gave me to crack open the grating.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, no worries. It's not a difficult task to cut away this already rusted iron and to push it aside. It's still very jagged, but you're able to get like a meter by a meter, roughly. Something that you could swim through, but you couldn't walk through.
Yeah, and I've got my cyber arm to help with that, so I don't really risk getting poked by needles and shit. So
right, no tetanus for you.
Yeah, that's what's going to be doing the bulk of the pulling and tearing.
All right. The current is pretty strong at the moment due to the flood. There's more water coming through the system than normal. So make a swimming check to fight your way through this jagged sector. Against the current.
And I'm gonna also hook up a cable lead to to the grating that's still intact to help me, find my way back just in case.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, no worries.
I have a pretty good amount of cable. Probably not enough completely, but it'll give me. So here we go.
We're 3 kilometers from the
One
site.
hit. Yeah, it'll get me in. See, I'm gonna go ahead and use an edge on that just to get more than one hit, hopefully.
Sure.
Hey, there we go, 4 hits.
That's always better than 1, and so you make it through there flawlessly, fighting against the current. And once you get past the initial plug, where the greatest pressure is, the water becomes a lot more steady, a bit like swimming through an incredibly polluted river. And
Gotcha.
you make your way through it. Yeah, you make your way through it, and it remains submerged for a while. But you discover a couple of alcoves that were once offices, and ladders that lead up to areas closer to the surface, maybe leading all the way to the surface. Do you explore any of these, or are you sticking with the main tunnel? You've got about 50% oxygen at this point.
I'll do a little exploring of the side areas. I'm not super worried about the 50%. I'll probably wait till I'm at like 40% or so to get back, or to start going back, because I'll have the current going with me then. That'll make it a lot easier to.
Yeah, absolutely. You find a fair amount of rooms up the top of the ladders that have pockets of air. Yeah, you don't find any way directly to the surface, but you do find some pockets of air here and there. No idea how fresh it is. But anyway, back to the exploration. From here is pretty easy. The place is still clogged. There's still junk, but most of it's lying on the bottom. The tunnel gets a lot narrower quite quickly, and it doesn't seem to be particularly challenging from here. It's a very simple system. It's very direct. It serves a pretty singular purpose. And if you wanted to go and join the main network of Siam Reap, if you wanted to go and break into the sewerage system for some reason, you could probably do it from here. But as long as you keep following this main passageway, your navigation computer tells you that it leads directly to the end.
Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. If I don't find anything else crazy down here, I'll start heading back. We've got our route in, at least. That was the main goal. And we've got it open. We know it's navigable. So.
Yeah. All right. So you come to the final obstacle, where you're going back out of the sewer and into the lake beyond. There's a small hole of a wretched, rusted metal that you'll have to dodge through. It's a gymnastics check to follow the current and dive through this.
All right.
Ring of water.
There's one hit. I'll edge this as well.
Ooh, 3. Your protection, your suit gets caught on one of the jagged things, and it doesn't actually catch you, but rather catches the suit and threatens to tear it. But instead, the chunk of rust breaks away from the main grate, and you get a souvenir of your journey instead of a tear in your chemical suit. Welcome back.
And I'll start making my way back to the group.
And roughly an hour later, maybe a little bit less, she's been gone for probably about 2 hours and 45 minutes. She returns, smelling like shit.
It's raining out.
Yeah. Take that
Oh,
suit
wait.
off and put it in the bed.
You don't want to share the aroma?
What was that?
You don't want to share the aroma?
Like to share the footage.
Yeah. I'll upload that.
How'd it go?
Good. I think it's a good plan. I think it'll work.
We're in business then?
Yeah. And yeah, I'll
Alright.
stand in the heavy downpour for a little bit to let it rinse off a bit, and then get out of the suit and everything. And
It
climb
is
it
some of
on.
the freshest rain in the world. This
Right.
far away from major civilization, regenerated by the rainforest, this is pure water coming from the heavens.
That Seattle acid rain. I miss it.
This isn't
Glad
synth
Lisa
throat
did it.
water. This isn't
Rain
synth
should
rain.
hurt.
Toughens you up.
So once you
I'm
get
used to
past,
You want to know how I got these cyber eyes? I looked up once during a rainstorm.
why would you do that? Once you get past the grate, it's pretty easy going, pretty straight shot to the earth. I didn't get all the way in. There might be some surprises further up, but nothing we can't handle or overcome.
All right, solid. Like to make one more pass, maybe at a later date, to make sure it's clear all the way to the airport. But yeah, sounds like we're in business. Didn't get spotted by the locals, did
Not that I saw.
you? Fantastic. Back to base. Well, actually, unless while we're out, we could scout out a sniper nest. So Arctic, you said like 1 kilometer around the airport, like anything that gets within that range, they like hostily respond and try to attack. But
Yeah, they
a
shoot the
kilometer
goats.
beyond that, they've and a kilometer beyond that, they've basically just driven everyone out. But they don't like, yeah, they're not like patrolling it or anything, right?
They patrol it irregularly. You just wouldn't call it secure. So they're still sending
Okay.
patrols out there almost hourly, but it's a lot of area to cover. It's a swamp, and you really only send your soldiers out there because you hate them.
Okay.
Oh, Dave let my coffee go cold before he got it to me. He's going out there.
Exactly.
All right. What's the range on your equipment, Ricochet? What's the range on your gun, Ricochet?
Shit, sorry, I was on mute. I was going to say probably, probably push like 1500, but I'd rather be closer. I'd probably be comfortable about like 750. Is inside the zone,
750. Yeah.
but I think I'd be
Probably
able
be
to
better to keep. Yeah. But we need somewhere we can not only get to, but get to and stay for a while.
Yeah, I'm thinking of maybe making a ghillie suit to match this terrain.
Yeah, it's doable. We could also take over a house, because you're probably going to be with Omen too when you do this, and he's not exactly as sneaky, I don't think.
Improves invisibility does wonders.
Yeah, it also does wonders at lighting you up astrally, though. Gotta be real careful about astral security here, because it can fuck us. And
So
only
send
two of us
Ricochet
can
with the new girl.
Well, the whole point of
We want Omen to do spell
Omen is
sniping.
yeah, we're gonna give him some binoculars so he can spell snipe.
Oh, I already have binoculars.
Or yeah, he bought binoculars at the market.
I mean, alternatively, I'm happy for him to stay a little bit further back and me just sneak in on my own. He could like camp out at the house, the hut, and spell snipe from there.
Yeah, you guys already took over a house and did some recon from there once, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, how close was that?
it's within that 1 to 2 kilometer zone.
All right.
But we can see
I mean,
into the...
ideally, if I'm going to sneak in a ghillie suit, I'd spend like hours doing it so I could creep in slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool if you want to do that, and we can put Omen and Arctic. How close do we have to be to the airport to have like with binoculars and shit to have like eyes on the terminal and the runway and the tower?
It's an open question because it kind of depends on what your objectives are. The power of the binoculars. Look, you can make out bugger all detail from 2 kilometres away. You can make out a fair amount of detail from about 1 kilometre away in broad daylight. But we haven't had a lot of broad daylight here. It's mostly been not even overcast, but rain. It's a really difficult question to put a functional number on them without applying it to the individual situations. You know, like some spells, for example, all you need to do is see a guy. You can see a guy from like 3 k's away, maybe, if you've got good binoculars, and you can pick him out from the hillside. But if you want to deliver some other specified effect to an area, then you might have to be 3 times as close as that, 5 times as close. It's really hard question to answer.
Yeah, binoculars give like 50 times vision mag, I think.
So 2 kilometers
yeah,
is the equivalent of 40 meters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be enough range to use control thoughts, which is what I think we're mainly going to be employing here.
If the sun is shining, if it's raining,
that's going to be the problem. I think the weather visibility is going to be more of an issue than the.
Yeah, like take away the mathematics of the magnification for a moment and think practically. In between, from 1 kilometer, point A to point B is a kilometer. Think of how many thousands or millions of raindrops are in the way of your vision, and it only really takes one of them to fuck your vision. So binoculars aren't very good in thunderstorms. It doesn't rain 24 hours a day, but it rains about 20 hours a day.
All right.
Yeah.
That's easy. We
So,
time
yeah.
our assault for when it's not raining.
Yeah. Okay.
It tends to be during the daylight hours that it's not raining. It tends to rain every minute of the night. But during the daylight, there's an oppressively hot and humid period, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes in the middle of the day. And that's a typical day.
Well, I've got an atmosphere detector on my drone, so if we do want to use it for the assault, I can basically put it up and have it act as a weather balloon. So we can have a gauge on when to time our assault. but yeah, we can
I'm
just set
assuming
Omen up in a house within the 2 kilometer range, and as long as it's not storming, he should be able to get. Especially since the guy he's going to be aiming at is going to be the flat cannon guy on top of the tower. Or that is where the flat cannon, right? It's on top of the control tower.
No, it's at the base of the control tower.
Ah,
Yeah, so it's not mounted to the control tower, but rather defending it.
okay.
Yeah.
So something that from a position they could see the flat cannon, you could also see the front door of the terminal.
Yeah, that's right. It protects the central courtyard. It protects almost all of the place, but there is a corridor that it can't protect because it is on the ground. The control tower, doesn't matter what direction it maneuvers in, there is a sector that it can't target because the control tower acts as, blocks its vision.
Yep. Okay, yeah. So Godfather will put his drone up and have it move along the second defensive zone and try to find an abandoned house or shack that'll have a decent sight line.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, there's quite a few of them. They've torched them and destroyed them, but they were always very simple buildings to begin with. So it's they're still functional for our purposes. You wouldn't want to live there.
All right, yeah. He'll pick one out and basically note the GPS coordinates.
And there's a bunch to choose from, so they're all pretty similar, but nonetheless.
Any of them have a second story?
Second story, no, but some of them have second bedrooms.
He'll pick the tallest one.
No worries. Yeah, sure. It's got a greater gap between the flooding and the floor.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. So we got a sniper nest picked out. Then it's going to. If Omen and Carrick want to bind some spirits for this job, now would be a good time.
Okay, I'll get a 4/6 bird ready then.
Cool.
Yeah, remember you do have to spend karma to bind spirits, if I remember correctly.
I don't think you do you?
Or never mind, you spend reagents to bind spirits. Yeah, you spend karma to quicken spells.
What spirit are you going to bind?
Oh, I thought I was just summoning one.
What type of spirit are you going to summon?
Just a beast.
All right.
You can bind a number of spirits up to your charisma.
Yeah. Do you know how binding spirits works, Carrick?
You just do another tear? Oh, not really.
Normally, whenever you summon a spirit, it will only last until the next or sunrise or sunset.
Or until they use all the
if you want one to
services.
stick around or until they use all their services. If you bind a spirit, it sticks around until you dismiss it or it runs out of services. So you can call up a really big one in advance, eat a lot of drain, bind it, eat some more drain, but then you have a really big spirit on call, and 3 days later you're all rested and recovered, and you still got the big spirit on call for when you need it.
Okay. A binding test is different from summoning, isn't it?
Yeah, you basically have to summon it again.
It's the same but harder.
Yeah, I've got binding, but it's much worse.
Yeah, you double. The spirit rolls twice as many dice to resist binding as it does being summoned.
So if you fail to bind it, do you still have the spirit, or does it go away?
You'll still have it, but it won't be bound, I think.
Okay. But for the moment, I'll just roll my summoning.
and they'll probably be grumpy with you.
They're only grumpy with you if you mistreat them while they're bound.
Yeah, or if you keep them bound for an excessive length of time.
Oh, 7.
Very good.
What?
What force were you going for?
Yeah, what
6.
force? Brilliant. That's what I was thinking. It's like I'm about to roll my 66 to resist, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to succeed. All right. It gets 3 hits, so you get 4 net hits on your summon.
So then
6 drain. 3 drain.
The spirit takes the form of a huge elephant of dimly glowing green energy.
You're all good, I think. Or actually 2 drain, right? Because it's times 2.
the 5 services, and I'll welcome the Beast Spirit and say it's a pleasure to, well, have its services.
The spirit bows to you. It tells you that it is a duke within the among the gods of the animals, a duke within the celestial bureaucracy. But it is here to cleanse this country of the taint that has been brought upon it, and it wishes to work with you to drive evil out of these lands.
No.
So now you're going to need to bind it.
Okay, so is that just a binding test?
Yep, you make a binding test. You may want to spend edge because you're going to get a couple days sleep before or after.
Okay, I'll
Your
spend.
choice.
I'll spend an edge then.
And resist with 6 with its force.
I think it's 12 because it's
Ah,
binding.
0.
Yeah, double force.
How much was it, Ricochet? 12?
Double force at 12.
Oh shit, it's going to be a bit of drain.
Yeah, I scored 0, like success.
Well, is that a critical glitch or just a glitch?
If you spend edge, you also add your edge rating to the test.
So 1.
That's
Yeah,
neither
that's
a glitch
already
nor
in
a
there.
critical glitch.
Yeah.
So I was looking at the drain test. Sorry. That's a 1, 2. Assuming when it gets
4
to
out
these
of
extra dice.
2, 3. Only 4 success on to resist. So yeah. 4 successes to resist. I guess that means lots of drain.
it is not bound.
Right,
2 more
no,
drain.
I'm going to re-roll that one because I edged it. I didn't mean to. There we go, 4.
You dare to summon me? I am a duke of the Beastlands, and you would enslave me for your petty wars?
But you said you'd want to help us. Maybe we needed you for longer.
I thought you were ready. I am ready.
Well, this has gone poorly.
I believe you can try again.
This time I don't have edge.
Don't forget you'll be
How
looking
much
at wound
how much drain did I
penalties
take?
now. You took
4
another
points.
4.
Excuse me?
You've taken 4 points of stun, so you'll be looking at wound penalties now as well.
Yeah,
don't
so
forget.
-1. So I think it's basically worth one more try and then I'll just let him go. As you can tell, I am a good summoner.
Oh, you're great at summoning. Terrible at binding.
1.
So
My
be good
goodness.
0.
He got, count them. 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 2.
Get binded!
You got him.
See that you are indeed a good summoner, and I will bow down to your control for now.
The best.
Very nice.
You are the savior of this land. You will protect us from the Siamese Serpents.
I can only hope.
You have been beguiled by them. But one day the scales will fall from your eyes, and he trumpets triumphantly.
This elephant's a fucking commie.
So 5 does the number of services stay the same?
Yep.
No,
5.
yeah, I believe you get one extra service
Oh, yeah,
because you have the success on the binding
Aye.
test.
Okay.
Yeah, your successes on the binding add to your services. So
I have 6
So you can
services.
you can at a later date rebind a spirit that's already bound to get more services out of them as well. But as you can see, it's fucking hard.
Yeah, and that'll really piss off a spirit.
I mean, I guess unless you
kind of
treated,
depends. I mean,
unless you've treated them like unusually well.
Or, yeah, unless you're like being very nice to them, or they're like a kind you have an affinity for. Yeah, but most
And it
spirits
depends
that'll
on-
piss them off.
Yeah, I've got an
Depends on
affinity for
tradition.
bee spirit.
if
Yeah.
you're, for example, summoning fire elementals and you're using them to burn down a lot of shit, they may be pretty chill with you.
But if you like to summon like a
So-
force one like spirit to like warm your coffee in the morning and nothing else.
Exactly. It's as much how you treat them and what you use them for as having them down.
Elementals in general are also pretty chill because they're kind of a little bit stupid as spirits go.
Yeah.
Specifically elementals, not.
Okay, I'll stat up the bee spirit like sheet then for the correct like force.
Yep. 4, 6.
It's already at 6.
Elephant Duke.
Omen, you want to take a crack at binding anything?
He's muted and deafened. He's been so since the start of the session.
Bro.
Yeah, I've been wondering about that.
I'll just assume that's a no, unless he decides on something later.
He posted a message just before we started. Other than that, I haven't heard anything from him since the game started.
Yeah. Yeah. He's probably got distracted by something or fell asleep. Yeah. Might have fallen victim to nanobots.
I'm assuming he got busy, but yeah.
Nanobots are coming for everyone.
All right, so that's another one off the checklist. Question for the group. Do we want to bring Clockwork in on this and maybe put him in charge of the tank? But for our
Can we trust him? You think? I think we can, but
I think he's well motivated. Like,
this
You know,
mission specifically
we
is
have
the
his
one that he had
family. Yeah, and B, if he knows if he helps us retake this airport, we'll put his family on a plane and take him out of the country.
and we'll have the capacity to once it's taken as well.
Where is
this
he at the moment?
Gives us the plane. We basically asked
Give
a
him
couple
the
triad
triad.
guys to put him up somewhere and keep an eye on him.
So I mean, I guess if you want to use him, I suppose you like ask City
we'll
like
have to
what
go.
his conditions are first. See like if it's even viable to use them.
We didn't have him like beat him up and take him prisoner. Like he's just like in an apartment or something with a couple triad guys babysitting him.
Yeah, but remember, like I guess like technically the people attacking are his former like comrades. He might have an issue with like killing them, even though if he doesn't like them. So I suppose you better like talk to him about that first.
I guess, but yeah, he hates these guys and lives in fear of them.
I thought we already talked to him about this in general,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah, but I suppose we're going to him with this specifically. So it's no longer like vague. It's can you help us with this very specific like task?
Yeah,
I thought that's what
let's
we
go ahead.
discussed, but we can find out for sure.
Yeah. So
Hey, Arctic,
Yeah.
has
Yeah,
the
yeah.
marketplace been effectively liberated, or is it still firmly under Khmer control?
It was never firmly under Khmer control. Rather, it's infiltrated by the Khmer. We don't. We can get our police force there, within 3 minutes, and we can secure the area. So, if you want to look at it from that point of view, it's in our control, firmly in our control. But
Okay, but if we were to go there again, we're liable to run into the same situation we did last time.
shrug shoulders.
Possibly.
There's nothing stopping them from doing it again. Put it that way.
Yeah, it's what I mean. It's not firm. It's not like the police have now secured it and it's now.
Yeah.
The only way they could do that is if they searched every single person who went in there and confiscated their guns, and that's not going to happen.
And even then, they can still use chainsaws and snakes and machetes.
Yeah. I was just curious because it's listed as an asset for the Khmer Rouge, so I wasn't sure if that was.
Yeah.
Basically, you probably have to get firmer control of Siem Reap to fix that issue. It'll go hand in hand.
Sounds about
Is there
right.
anywhere else you can get things in this town other than that market?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There are other places. That's probably half of the economic activity in the city, but there is still a few specialty shops open.
So I'd like to try and get a diving suit.
Yeah, right, diving suit. Yeah, there'll be a diving specialty shop.
Who are we planning on sending into the tunnels to do the bomb?
I think it was going to be Trey because he was then
Okay,
going to pop out and go.
we need to get him a diving suit. Yeah.
I
Or I guess he'd use the one. Yeah, he'd use Godfather. Getting extra air may not be bad though.
Yeah, I can
Getting
see
an
if they
extra
got
air
there as well.
All right. You're able to get what you're looking for, but they want to charge you triple.
Triple. Motherfuckers. Alright, give me a second.
Who are they gonna call? The cops?
Yeah, I'm not here to make enemies though. I don't have no.
They're looking to make an enemy of you, apparently. Triple. You gonna stand for this
Holy
shit?
shit! Fuck, I could barely afford it when if it was normal priced.
Yeah, you gonna stand for this shit? I think you're
Fuck
some gaijin motherfucker that they can just extort.
Do you want me to help
Hey.
you with the negotiations for the diving suit?
This is capitalism. This is what we're here fighting for, man.
Exactly.
These are our values.
I mean, I'm more of a fascist kind of guy myself, to be honest.
Says the guy who was complaining about not getting paid enough.
Who wants to unionize Shadowrun?
Right.
I have a myriad of complex political stances, okay? Don't try to put me in some fucking box, guys.
Pragmatist.
Okay, well, do you want me to assist the negotiation, or do you want me to lead it?
Most certainly. No, it's lead, dude. I'm not here for social shit.
Okay.
The price is triple, they explain. Out of stock.
But then, if it's out of stock, how do you have one for sale?
Last one, it is for another customer. I get in very big trouble for sale.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to get you in trouble, but our work is very important. But if we succeed, maybe you'll be able to advertise that you helped, get rid of some very bad people in this country.
I'm gonna one day carve the word AppSec into your forehead.
What word?
Stop telling the guy we're secret fucking agents.
I didn't.
You are salaryman? You are salaryman for a big company?
I guess, but it's a secret.
No.
Oh.
I'm not very good at negotiation in real life.
You have a make a negotiation roll, but you have a -2 on your roll because your message is unclear.
I know. I prepared for these by reading actual books, but I still learn nothing. Two, so not too bad.
She says, him triple. Him is normal price. She points to Trey. He has normal size. I can get him for normal price. But big troll, he is too big. He needs to pay triple. More fabric.
Troll.
You just call me a troll.
She nods.
I mean, can we just adjust the suit? Like, is that
fucking-
something Godfather can do?
Fucking awkward.
No, adjust. It's just one piece fabric. It not adjust. It's stretch. For him, stretch too much. Triple.
Look, do you really need a diving suit or just the breathing system?
Yeah, that's
I don't need
exactly.
breathing suit. It was more the diving suit I wanted. No, it's all good. I'm not that sold on it.
Only double.
If you can get
Oh,
anything,
now-
get some flippers.
What about special customer, huh?
Special customer for me. My lucky day. Here. Only double for you. Only normal price for you. It's good price.
I'll buy the air tank.
But you buy diving suit too for your air tank. You need.
No, he's already got a diving suit. He just needs the air tank.
Oh. Okay. Pretty upset. He thought he had a
Quadruple.
deal.
He thought he did, but I was gonna end up cutting it to pieces anyway. I ain't paying double for something that I'm about to like semi-destroy. So
He goes home and gets drunk and weeps. He thought he had a sale.
yeah, well,
Thought he was gonna make triple.
His
Oh,
children are finally gonna eat.
Exactly. I would have shown up my brother in the Khmer Rouge and shown that there is a way forward for this country with capitalism.
Does he have like other diving shit?
Yes, he does. All the diving shit.
Well, I mean, why don't we pick up flippers and a fucking snorkel then?
Do you want to snorkel in the trash tube?
No, but if you're gonna do that stupid rice paddy jumping beforehand, you're at least gonna want to snorkel in some fucking eyewear.
Yeah.
Or was like
Probably
just like save like
we'll want to conserve our air until we go in because it's going to be a couple of kilometers of clogged pipes, so air may be an issue.
Not
Yeah,
just
you really
that,
would
we'll be
be.
lugging
Like-
other tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to be lugging like a backpack-sized air tank.
Whereas if we just have a face mask with a fucking snorkel, and the rice fields are flooded, right? That's what you were crawling through?
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically the fucking not retarded way to do the fucking American Ninja read through the fucking water.
It is so ninja, right? Like it's as ninja as you get.
So, yeah.
I mean, you've
Trey
got a
will
set
buy
of diving
2
gear.
of those.
You've got a set of diving gear, haven't you, Neo?
Yep.
It comes with a face mask and snorkel anyway.
That makes sense. You know, like because they do. Cool. All right. Well, he shall be very sad tonight. He thought he had a sale, but oh well, that's what you get for trying to throw the white man tax on everything. You know, could have chucked on 10%. Had to chuck on triple. Doesn't work like that, I'm afraid, sir. Anyway. So
Not to make him feel bad, but I probably would have paid 10%.
exactly right. He would have paid 10%. He might have paid 20%. Anyway. Do we make any further preparations, or are we sending in the nuclear option?
I suppose we should go and talk to Clockwork first, just to ensure that he knows what's happening.
Yeah, brief him and get his position ready.
Like I said, I want to make a ghillie suit,
Take about 3 days.
and I also want to make probably a ghillie like duffel bag to match it as well.
Wait,
A
so,
day, so 4 days.
so are we his Johnson technically then?
Kind of,
So I
I
mean,
guess.
if he asks for money, like how much like do we offer? Like what's the maximum?
His family getting out.
Yeah, we're not offering him money for this deal.
Okay. How much to
This
make
is
a show
more
up?
of an offer you can't refuse kind of arrangement.
Does that fill some emotional niche for you if we're the Johnson?
I think it's pretty funny.
And the
It's
pride of
awesome.
helping liberate his country.
You should go and give the triads some jobs now too, and like you can be like, you can then take ranks in Mr. Johnson.
We can get you some nice Cambodian hookers. You can make them call you Mr. Johnson. We can deal with this on like a whole nother level.
It's fantastic. Money well spent, in my opinion.
Because Ricochet brought it up, and I'm feeling particularly paranoid while we spend these last few days getting our shit together. Mako, do you want to get together and run a in-depth matrix analysis on our shit to make sure we don't have any more hidden surprises?
I do have a proper diagnostics app purchased for my comlink as well on that side of things.
Yeah, I've got that too. You there, Mako?
Yeah. I got nothing. No other preparations.
Do you want to do a matrix analysis with me on our gear to make sure
Oh,
no more
sure.
shit like that?
I'm sure it's there. We'll just have to clean it.
Yeah, well, to make sure there's nothing else besides that bug, because you know something else a little more insidious.
Yep. Let's go through it.
Yeah, basically just over the next 4 days while Ricochet puts together his ghillie suit, we'll go through with a fine-tooth fucking comb all of our system.
And I guess when is anyone else going to go with me to talk to it to Clockwork?
Oh yeah, I'll go with you.
Yeah, I'll get a Domino's pizza as well.
Yeah, bring some Dominoes.
Yeah, like
That's
likes
nice.
that.
Actually, pretty smart.
Yeah, extra
thing to do.
large meat lovers.
Yeah, large meat lovers. Well, in fact, we'll get two because like there's more than one.
No, pepperoni.
Yeah, he's an
loves
orc.
pepperoni.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
pepperoni.
one meat lovers,
Two
one's
extra.
pepperoni.
Yeah, one meat lovers, one pepperoni.
We'll get large with stuffed crust.
And Hawaiian for the kid.
Is his
I
family
think we're
with him?
keeping his wife and kids in a separate location.
So I guess how much does Domino's cost in Cambodia?
It's Cheap Tuesday, $5 a pizza, 5 million.
Fuck yeah,
Fuck yeah.
10 million.
And I guess
They make a loss at that price, but they sell them anyway. Capitalism, beautiful thing.
yeah, 2 pizzas and some like soda. I guess 15 union will cover that.
Perfect.
Saw a tweet the other day. It said, Domino's is paving a pothole outside on my street. This is late capitalism.
Alright. Pornhub did it first, but
Yeah, I've seen that. They've got a big program for that.
Yeah, Domino's is repairing streets.
So I
Anyway,
guess we give a like a little knock on the door just to.
I had Domino's turn up at my door one time, giving us free pizzas as well. Apparently, here every week they pick a street and just go and give free pizzas to the whole street.
That's philanthropy. That's real philanthropy. That's
No, it's not. It's advertising.
that's practical charity, gentlemen.
the bullshit corporate term is guerrilla marketing. I know because my Jimmy John's does it. Every once in a while, we'll just send someone out with a box full of like third sandwiches to hand out in some random location.
Jimmy Jones, there's a name you can trust. I'd hire that guy to be my
He
lawyer.
killed an elephant. Or a rhino, actually. He shot a rhino.
I don't know. I got mixed feelings about Jimmy Jones there.
I mean, he needed the rhino horn for medicine, because that's how it works, right?
Legit, I was working night shift once, and some drunk ass like college guy stumbled in at like 3 in the morning, opened up the front door, and yelled, "Fuck you, Jimmy, for killing that rhino!" and just closed the door and kept walking.
Say that, Jimmy Jones. You heard this. So knock. There's no answer. So you let yourselves in, and you find Clockwork is there. We basically got guys on his door, so he's not in cuffs or anything, is he? Or is he in cuffs?
I mean, we don't think he's going to. If he tries to run away, the Chimera would kill him at this point, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Like, he's basically defected.
Probably.
He's safer here than anywhere else.
Yeah, he's not restrained, but might have asked them to keep the head jammer on him.
Alright.
Yeah, it'd be like probably like a collar that goes around his neck or something like that, and it requires a key to get off.
There's grime and little bed sores that are arising around the collar just from the sheer humidity of wearing it.
Yeah, probably would let him take it off at certain intervals, but 90% of the time keep it on him.
The triads, they just happened to taking it off. They thought that you didn't want to take it off, so they just left it on. Seemed easier that way.
And just like, it's good to see you again. We bought you some pizza, indicating the boxes. It's like, don't worry, these ones don't have grenades in them. I don't think they do anyway. It looks like Godfather.
I like how you lead with that. Like, remind him of the shitty thing that fucked up his
Hey,
life right off. Where the fuck did you learn to talk to people?
Comedy.
What's your charisma, Fenway? What's your charisma?
It's pretty funny.
Hey, Clockwork, remember that time we grenaded kids? Anyway, we're here to ask you
We
a favor.
almost killed your fucking kids.
Hey, I was.
Fucking got the
Hey,
entire
Fenway was
Khmer
told
crew to
orcs
fucking wanna kill you.
liked weird humor, so it might find this funny. We don't know him.
He takes the box of pepperoni, he quickly opens the lid. Boom.
Oh yeah, we explode. Like Domino's remembers.
You want
Somebody else pulled a
Apparently it was a
running
big hit.
grenades in
Oh,
our
anyway.
pizzas.
Anyway, Clockwork, we have a favor to
Apparently
ask.
Domino's caught wind of it and it was a big hit.
It's a promotion. Buy one pizza, get a free gas grenade.
what did you ask Clockwork?
I just said we had a favor to ask him.
He just keeps eating his pizza.
Where you're going to be
Yeah.
taking back the airfield pretty soon. I would like you to take control of the tank in our assault, and assist us.
How am I going to do that?
You originally had your RC up or RCC to set up to do exactly that. Was that not the plan? If the airport was assaulted, you take control of the tank and work the defense of the airfield.
Sure. What do I get out of it?
Well, I mean,
What
with the
we
airfield,
originally arranged with
Yes,
the airfield retaken, would be able to take a plane and get your family out of the country.
He takes a second slice of pizza. So that's it then. I do this thing for you, and that's over for us.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, after that, we don't really have an interest in you. If you want, you can stick around, assist us against the Khmer, or if you want, I can put you on the plane with your family too, take you out of the country.
Depends how patriotic you feel.
I gotta say, option A is tempting. What are you making? 20 grand a month?
Yeah, it's 20 grand a month.
I'll take option B. All right, so you want to take me there now? Want to load me up?
It's gonna be a few days before we make the assault.
So you just keep me here then instead.
Aye.
Well, you've been pretty safe. You're like the guards have been treating you well, haven't they?
He doesn't respond to that. Do you think you could get rid of this thing? He reveals the grime and the bed sores around the neck brace.
Yeah. Godfather will first reach into the backpack he usually keeps with him and flip on an area jammer. And then, yeah, he'll bust out the key and take off the head jammer.
Wipes it away with his singlet and grime, coats the singlet where it touches.
Got any antibacterial spray in there?
Got a med kit. So, yeah. Yeah, I'll take the med kit out and sort of tend to his neck.
Stings a bit, but he
Apologies
doesn't say
about
anything.
this. I told them to let you take it off as you needed. Well, they're triads. What can you do?
For it, he's eating pizza, so he'd rather eat than talk.
Apologies for the inhumane treatment, but as you can understand, we're not exactly trusting people.
I'm having trouble too, he says with a mouthful of pepperoni. What's to stop you from from betraying me at the end of this? Who's to say that my family are even alive?
We're Shadowrunners. We abide by certain rules and reputations.
Ain't that the point of being a Shadowrunner, that you don't have to abide by any rules? You can
Yeah,
make them up as you go along.
But if you break your promises, people will expect it, and they won't give you anything. Like, even though we are free to break our promises, it makes sense to follow them through anyway.
Look, at its base, it wouldn't be much trouble to get you and your family out of your country after you do a solid for us, and I wouldn't have the burden on my soul of, double crossing.
Alright. Well, if you get me over there sooner rather than later, I can run diagnostics. If you want me to wait until the big day, I'll be jumping in cold. Choice is yours.
Probably gonna bring you in the day before to run through the equipment in your compound, get booted up on your RCC, and make sure everything's operational.
I mean, how many days does something like this normally take?
What, like diagnostics, you mean, or what?
Yeah, that one.
I'm not sure why we're waiting at this point. What's the reason?
We're waiting the 4 days for Ricochet to put his ghillie suit together. After that, we're pretty much good to go.
Is there any reason why we can't let him see his family in the meantime?
So you about 3 or 4 days to go by the time he does the bag as well.
Yeah, I've mostly been avoiding it so he couldn't so he wouldn't be motivated to break out because he wouldn't know where his family is.
Yeah, but we couldn't have him and his family meet at like a third location. So he wouldn't know, but he'd know they're still alive, and that might motivate him to work harder.
Yeah, I can bring him to him for a meeting. Bring him to the compound. Night errant's there anyway. A lot of security. We've already cleaned his node and stripped out any back doors you might have had into it.
And you can put the block back on if you're worried he has still has some sort of access to his place.
Yeah, just put it on a different location in his body so it doesn't chafe again.
Oh, yeah.
And then have the reunion, and he knows they're still alive, so he has something to work for.
Yeah, it'll make him cooperative, probably.
All right.
Get in touch with the Triad guys watching the family and ask him to bring him to the compound.
They give him his conjugal visit, and the kids stay over and in hostage overnight. And then at the end of the day, they can't take him back to the hospital because they've been discharged. What do they do with him now?
Got somewhere you can put him up?
they think about it, and they can put them above the dojo down in Chinatown.
We got a spare room at the Hilton.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck it. Let's put a couple triad guys up and let them use our TV and room service.
Trying to live in a fucking lodge, bro. Yeah, look at me. Look at me. I do cocaine.
Win the everlasting loyalty of like 3 triad guys.
These guys, like, this is high living. They've made it now. They know that they're real men. You know, they get girlfriends. That's how good this is.
Highest paid babysitters on the planet.
Yep. So there's still a couple of days left. Anything else that you need to do in that time interval?
Godfather and Mako, we're gonna, like we said, go through our equipment and look for any like bugs or viruses or any of that shit that we missed.
Sure.
Any roles associated with that?
Yeah, I guess it would be. Would electronic countermeasures work? Some sort of surveillance check to scan your own system. Search. Might just be a
Computer?
search check. Computer search.
Software.
Yeah, software. Any of these. This sounds like the most appropriate skill for the software.
I got most of those, so I can assist you. Or
Yeah,
go on software.
With an extended test, you'll want 15 successes. So just go from there.
What's your total dice pool?
Software 12, I believe.
I'll assist you then.
All right. Six successes on the first one.
Yeah.
All right, assist again. Five successes on the second one. Roll assist again. Five more.
All right, that's done it. So it takes a while to complete your search, and although your equipment remains clean for now, during your search you get a ping from an old arrow, an old piece of data that you had logged, a diagnostic that you'd logged that has just clicked now while you're running a completely unrelated diagnostic. Boang's comlink has come online. It's joined the matrix for the first time since you first scanned the report.
Well, let's go after it. Huh?
Yeah, fuck it. Actually, let's be cautious. I think we picked up Supreme Leader's attention last time, and apparently he's got some pretty hefty Matrix cojones.
Well, I'm gonna try to get a mark on that comlink.
I'll assist, I guess.
With a hack on the fly.
Hey, don't forget, guys. I don't think it would have affected that test at all. But don't forget, with extended tests, your die pool reduces by 1 with every subsequent test.
I was incorporating that, yeah. But the assist covered it in each instance.
Right.
All right. Yeah. Let me roll hacking for your. Four.
Right. Cool.
That's to assist Mako.
Right.
Wow, we're gonna karma that.
You mean Edge, right?
Edge, yeah.
Sakes, when you didn't roll, I was thinking, did he actually mean he's going to spend a karma to automatically succeed?
No.
Like,
Yeah,
okay,
Edge.
like that's your prerogative. That's cool.
6
That's
hits.
the third edition.
Is it right?
And that's resisted by will plus firewall.
All right.
No, intuition plus firewall.
Excellent. It one's at a good firewall. It's degraded somewhat, leaving some holes in its security. It gets only 2 successes for you. What is that? Did you re-roll? So is it 5 or 6 successes that you got?
6 successes.
It gets 2 to resist, so 4 net successes is a lot. Does that only give you 1 mark or multiple?
Just 1. I have to declare. I have to try to get intentionally try to get multiple marks.
Right.
Yeah, you get marks one at a time. No successes don't really do anything.
It's not. Yeah, it's a dice pool penalty to try to get multiple marks.
Okay.
But what I want is only a 1 mark action anyway, and that's going to be a snoop. Electronic warfare plus intuition to intercept matrix traffic to and from the target.
All right.
I can definitely assist in electronic warfare.
Do it. Good.
Okay, so this will just pick up any transmissions. It won't pick up any old data. Is that correct?
Right. This. I wanted to get this on first because she's known to be very quick in her stuff. If I have time after, I'm going to try to get data, but I want to get her calls and anything she's sharing first.
All right. Cool.
6
Yeah,
hits.
anything she's texting or talking about or
And this is
anything
logic plus firewall.
You got 6, is that all?
Mhm.
That's 1 net success. The defense has got 5.
That's more than I need. I only need 1. So, well, I guess not more than I need. It's exactly what I need.
What you need. Okay, so it will interpret the transmission immediately. I'll make some modifications to a document and then I'll provide it to you.
Since we've got that going, now I want to start looking for data on her comlink, looking for files. So it's a matrix perception roll.
All right, matrix perception. Cool.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to re-roll that. Edge shouldn't have been turned. Sadly.
No.
4 hits. That's pretty good.
Okay, unfortunately, the defense is also 4.
I was assisting with that.
Right.
So +3 maker.
Two more.
All right. That 6 is excellent because 4 is all you need. 4 matches the defenses, and so you get by the defenses. But after you've gotten by the defenses, you discover that you're not the only individual listening in on this conversation. There is another icon that looks like an old Soviet soldier with darker skin that is inside this matrix terminal as well. The terminal looks something like a noir hotel, chandeliers and Long Island iced teas and long cigarettes and women in evening gowns, men in Stetson hats. Anyway, you get the picture. There's someone listening in on this conversation, and it looks like an old electronic icon of a Soviet soldier.
Interesting.
So you're here, you've already gotten the packet data, or rather you're already able to listen into the transmission, so I can give you to that in a moment, but I'll wait to see if you're still continuing with your previous plan first.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right. Is that a search check? How will you search through this comlink?
So that matrix perception was to locate files on there. Now I need to see if they have any data bomb or protection on them.
All
So,
right.
knowing that, that'll influence my next action. So if they're encrypted, we'll have to decrypt them. If they're, data bombed, then that's an entirely can of worms.
Nothing of the sort. It doesn't. The protections seem to be basically non-existent. The firewall that you get off, or rather, not quite that. It looks like it's been reinforced with a new firewall. So that is the one defense that this comlink has. It's not just straight off the shelf. It's off the shelf, and then someone has externally inserted a pretty damn good firewall. Like this is, high level corporate level. It's a good firewall, but that's the only defense. Unless you count this sleuth hanging around here, this unexplained icon that is watching the entire interaction.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna start downloading then files as much as I can get. So this is going to be an edit. So computer test versus intuition plus fire.
All right.
I will assist.
Cool.
Extra 3 dice from the assistants.
Oof. I think I'll probably use my last edge on that.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna get a couple days for the assault, so you should recover it.
So 7 hits total.
Brilliant. Okay, so this is a lot of information. The last entry is the current one. It's the one that's currently being communicated. So if you want to go straight down to the bottom one, read that first. That's up to you. But otherwise, it functions in orders of dates, and none of the dates is older than a month.
Fuck, I knew they were gonna rig the tank.
Interesting.
Well, if it's sending someone to sneak in, like, they might as well. They'll probably be able to disable like the kill switch.
God damn it! Did that bitch we hit with the rocket launcher survive? That was a long march, wasn't it? It says long march survived.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it!
I kind of wondered if it was
That
a long
seems
march.
highly improbable.
Are there any other Khmer we almost killed?
It specifically says long march.
Yeah, but do we know Long March was the sniper?
Mm-hmm.
Or is there some other Khmer we may have killed?
We haven't shot a rocket launcher at anyone else, period.
They say that, oh, yeah. Or they don't mention shooting it with a rocket launcher.
It's a lot to go through here.
Yeah, this is
So
good
Long
intel.
March was hit by an RPG.
Ah, never mind.
Apparently, she lost both her legs.
It may not survive.
Look, we need to find out where she is.
I thought we checked out like the sniper nest though, where the sniper was, because we took the
did.
bike and the rifle was trashed, and
We found pieces of her.
It's all very correct, yeah. That's right. Found boots. blown off the leg.
Looks like Brang's having some doubts of the project.
Look on the bright side. She burnt a karma, so she's got one less edge.
Hooray. She's a sniper. It's like driving around waiting for fucking IEDs.
Been there, done that. And snipers too.
Fuck those guys.
Trying to remember that that rocket launcher we looted from those guys at the tunnel. Was it loaded with the frag or an AV missile?
Don't remember.
I can't remember.
We may not
Oh.
even know. Real.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah. Thought it was a high explosive, but I don't.
High explosive missile? Okay.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Get it. Okay, that sucks that they have killed the wireless on the tank, but then again, that's kind of expectable. Yeah, that does put us in the situation of what we're gonna do about the tank. Are we gonna have to gas it or something?
I mean, it doesn't have any ammunition for the main gun, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Unless
then
they got
concertina
brought in.
wire. But yeah, concertina wire.
Googling that. But tangle it up.
Concertina wire will detread most tracked vehicles.
It's good to know that she's not confident that she'll be able to match us on the Astral as well.
Fuck, Andre had fucking gills too.
Now, you would have been good in the frog marsh.
Yes, I'm aware. You would have been perfect for this upcoming job too.
God, Death Roll sounds like a fucking scary name.
I'm guessing it has something to do with the alligator farm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. He never leaves the farm.
But anyway, we'll kill him when we get there.
Do we still have any
great, like a fucking sorry. Longmarch is gonna show up again, like half cybernetic, like a fucking G.I. Joe villain. Like we blew her up and she just shows up with a bunch of like machine parts. The fucking
That's great.
cyborg back for revenge. I love that.
This isn't even her
Hacker.
final form.
We're gonna blow her up again and she's gonna show up like 75% machine parts.
It's a brain in a tank, like a dreadnought.
With a fucking mounted gun attachment.
Did I miss something in the new comms? Do we know if anyone's actually met the Supreme Leader in person yet? Or that's still on no?
Yeah, as far as we can tell, no. Nobody's ever actually met the Supreme Leader.
Supreme Leader's an AI. Like that is my crazy.
Yeah, that's the running theory.
In the Heavenly Matrix. Alright. Are we gonna hit this fucking
Yeah,
thing?
for people who want to ban religion, like Brang is surprisingly religious.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, they want to reintroduce religion as the state becomes religious. The religion.
She's very spiritual, yes.
Her faith makes her weak. I mean, at least she's questioning the plan.
Alright, yeah, once Ricochet's suit is together, I think we are just about ready to roll on this thing. Guess like Clockwork Nelly probably won't be needed for this operation.
Can't you get in there and just switch the dead switch on? I installed it myself. It's just click of a switch and the remote will be good as new.
Because we're sneaking in. Like,
Well,
that's something that we could do.
well,
We could make that Trey's first
Actually,
priority after deploying the
yeah,
gas.
yeah. Once Trey pops out, he can rush the tank and flip it on. Yeah, actually.
Have you guys ever seen a fucking tank? It seems like a horrible idea.
I'm intimately familiar with the tank.
I noticed you were not one of the people saying that should be a good idea.
I'm saying
Because we know tanks from Hollywood. They go boo!
yeah, I'm saying, but the does
So
have
you
a
think you
trigger
could
like the
sneak up
gas
on it, though?
like bombs? Does have a trigger? Like, can you put the bombs in place and then go off and like disable the kill streaks and then set off like the gas?
That's a Godfather question, isn't it?
That's that means I could potentially be in the building when the trigger goes up,
Well,
or be in the
we're
middle of a firefight.
we're guessing the
only,
control tower, not the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd still have to go through the control tower, and then
You
out
wouldn't.
of it.
The maintenance tunnel have like there's sewer hatches all over the airport that you can pop up out of. You don't have to go out through the control tower, as far as I understand. Like from the airport, there are a dozen ways to access the maintenance tunnel, but there's, we're going in through a storm drain that opens up 3 kilometers out. But once you're under the airport, you can pop out almost anywhere, as I understand. Is that correct, Arthur?
Probably, yeah, probably. I was reading at the time, but like to build on what I think you said, this place is self-contained in its electricity generation, in its water filtration, in its fuel storage. All of that is essentially off the grid. It's connected to the grid, but it's also off the grid. The most important corporate and government compounds tend to be. You don't keep your police station connected to the sewers where people can just crawl straight up your dunnies and throw cherry bombs at you. And so this is pretty separated as well. But because it is separated, it's also concentrated. So the mainframe and the power generation unit and the water filtration unit, they're all right beside each other. They all share similar rooms, or they share similar conduit pipes. And so once you've got access to one, you've basically got access to everything. Getting in is theoretically the hard part, but once you're in, the network seems to be both small and simple. Maybe too small for you to infiltrate. At that point, they probably use drones instead of service people. But but we don't know that because we haven't been there, and the blueprints aren't that.
Our question was regarding or exit points. Do you have to go out through the control terminal from there, or as I understood it, there were like sewer grates all over the airport he could make his way to an exit from?
Yeah.
Pop out like just about.
Yeah, somewhere in between. Like there are sewer grids all over the place. Yeah, so that you can run the fuel straight from the ground to fuel up your aircraft, for example. You don't want 300 meters of piping or tubing. All of that goes underneath the ground. But yeah, again, you don't know how tight these tunnels are. So while there is subterranean access, it might be suitable for a drone rather than a person.
But yeah, as long as he has ways to get out of there other than going through the control terminal, we're good.
He should, but you can't confirm that because the schematics aren't that specific. But like, he should be able to. If you're reading this right, if you're interpreting it right, then he should. But it's not like looking at a map. It's not that specific. It's rather a description, and you make some assumptions based on that, and so on. All factories are built around a similar design, more or less, and so you just use your instincts rather than having any actual evidence.
All right. We won't rely on it, but we'll put that as
Optional secondary objective.
Pumps the gas. Yeah. And if he's able to, he makes his way out, gets the tank online, and then maybe goes after the mortar group. And if not, he does what he can. He improvises.
Because we've only got like 20, 25 minutes left, let's get ourselves into the position where as soon as we start next week, we can launch the action. So if you guys want to, basically work out where we're going to be, what we're going to do launching, let's have ourselves all primed to go.
All right, so I understand that we basically got 3 teams here. The team that's going into the sewers, the team that's going to be setting up as snipers, and the team that's going in the van as the assault team. So
we go with the sewer team to begin with. Let's first of all, what are the weather conditions? Are we waiting until it's sunny?
yeah, we want good visibility. That's one of the things we're primarily going for. So
there is a typhoon down in Bangkok, and the thing with Bangkok for getting all the bad weather is it sucks a lot of the pressure out of nearby lands. So the skies are clear in Cambodia for the first time in weeks, and that's because there's a typhoon rather than in spite of it. So we've got a nice, clear, sunny day, but that means that they've put out some air surveillance of their own. They've got 2 Cessnas, 2 little crop duster planes, two-seater, 4-seater, and they've also got that little helicopter going around as well. So they're going out about 5Ks, just going through the air, providing a bit of surveillance at a height of maybe between 500 meters and 1,000 meters. Pretty damn low, but hopefully, out of range of a small arms fire at least. Those of you who are going in through the sewers, these are bad conditions for you. It's middle of the day. It's going to be hot and sweaty. There's going to be dogs out everywhere. There's going to be people working the rice farms. The conditions couldn't be worse for you guys to get there. You go in there like the night before and just hang out at the lake, camp at the lake. All right. You can't really camp inside the main sewer tunnel because it's submerged. So that leaves you with 2 options, maybe 3. The first option is to go inside the sewer tunnel and find one of those small areas, isolated areas that has like an air pocket. That's an idea. Another idea is to just camp on the edge of this trash lake, although people do come by here fairly regularly. The third one is maybe to commandeer a building, although that might be the most disruptive of all, to essentially evict people and live in there. You only got to use it for like 24 hours. Where are you going to stay for that time? Edge of the lake. Okay, cool. So you're camping down there for a day. Some kids come down there, whacking each other with sticks and laughing and running. Some dogs accompany them. Will you just like try and hide among the trash and not be seen?
Yeah, I will. I mean, there's a flow coming out of this pipe, right?
There is. Yep, there is. Yep.
So I'm not the pretty sort. I like keep myself submerged and kind of sit wedged up against that pipe with my fucking face mask and my snorkel
Yeah.
till it gets dark again.
You can sit there for
Or
an hour.
until it's time to.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And who was with Trey? Was someone else infiltrating through the sewer as well?
Probably not. Called it the team,
Right.
but I think it is just Trey.
Right. Cool. All right. Team A, which is Trey. Team
Trey.
Team Trey is in position. He's secure. That's one dot.
We'll synchronize our. Yeah, we'll synchronize our watches beforehand, so we, are all set up to go at a specific time.
Sounds good. All right. So one Team Trey's in position. Who's next?
First thing first, Arctic, did you want me to make any rolls for the ghillie suit?
Yeah. Not for the manufacture of it yourself. Like making it hidden is easy enough, but making it suitable for the environment is another thing. Because you're essentially going to have to be submerged in water.
Yeah.
You can't lie down in a rice paddy without 8 inches of water coming up to your shoulder. So yeah. So that's really what you need your manufacturing checks for. I don't know what the skill involved would be.
Armor, I would think.
Yeah, armor.
And I have a specialization in armor.
Perfect.
I think. Yeah, specialized in armor. All right. How many?
It's an extended. Extended, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So you're off to a good start. You're making something that looks the part. You start to get bogged down a little bit as your test to make it waterproof proved to be ineffective over the course of hours or days. You're on your way to getting there, but you're concerned that it's not going to be up to scratch, and you've made it. And you finally come up with an excellent piece of equipment, completely waterproof, can be submerged for up to 24 hours, and won't leak a drop.
Like, that was some nice rolls too.
Yeah, damn.
Nelly glitched that second one though.
Yep.
So yeah, you look like a rice paddy.
Just check my macro because that seems to be a lot of fucking. Yeah, no, they're all D6s. Yep, cool.
Yeah. Let's decide here. There are basically 3 undecideds: Fenway, Mako, and Flash. Flash, I assume, will want to be in the assault. Mako, do you want to be in the van or with a rifle?
Is Flash mainly like good at melee or long range or basically a bit of everything?
Very close quarter.
So, do we want her to go in with Trey then? Because if she's starting a kilometer out, it's going to take her a while to get into her optimum range.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be driven in, but there may be complications.
Is Flash sneaky, real sneaky?
Pretty damn sneaky.
Because we could
not
have one
now.
of them go to try to flip on the tank again.
That's what I was
And the
thinking. And one of
other-
them could be a distraction.
Yeah, could send Jez and Trey into the sewer, and maybe have Trey handle the gas while Jez goes for the tank, or vice versa.
I am willing to do whatever you think I am best suited for. I don't really know.
Give me all your gear and go home.
I was actually thinking similarly, but
You're really quiet again, by the way, Jez.
I can do whatever. I can do the sewers. I can do up top. As long as I get to kill shit and we go loud, it's fine.
Yeah, you're sneaky enough to handle the sewers, I think, and it would keep it would like buddy system at least. We wouldn't be sending Trey out lone range, right? And it gives us an additional person on the inside for the assault. I like it. Any opposition?
No, I think that's a good idea. So I'm of two minds here for Mako. I can either stay out with a sniper rifle and be in a position to provide good magical or not magical matrix overwatch, or I can go in with the assault rifle and help with the assault team. Kind of depends on what we think is the bigger value.
Being in with the assault team would give the advantage of being prepped for matrix actions if needed.
If I'm with the assault team, I'm not going to be in a position to really do matrix actions, so because I'll be
Okay.
pretty vulnerable. I'll have to do AR stuff, which is
Oh yeah,
possible.
yeah, that's what I mean though. But
Yeah.
I mean that's more than you can do from a kilometer away.
No, I've got enough noise cancellation. A kilometer is not even a problem.
Ah, nice.
I mean, if you're worried about security, you can always roll in my vehicle and pull a firing port.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to really do as much matrix security if I do. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'll be limited to AR stuff there. Where if I'm back a ways, I can go VR as need be.
That 100-meter thing's mainly for hidden icons, isn't it?
If I know what I'm looking for, like if I know specifically if I can see it, I can find it from afar.
Okay, cool.
All right, and so that just leaves Fenway. When a mage sniper go in the van.
I suppose I can mage snipe. I mean, I've got binoculars for a reason. But I mean,
Alright.
I have pretty potent healing. Like, would I be able to like get like where I'm needed if someone gets hurt?
Yeah.
Probably not.
you remember Andre? Just assume everybody's going out like that.
Honestly, I kind of think you should be in the van in case they decide to pull an airplane on us and send a fire spirit or something inside the van. But that's up to you too.
I think I should be in the van because like very few of my spells would be useful at such a range.
Yeah. What kind of rifle do we have for sniper?
A machine gun.
Jez has got a Ruger 101, which is basically a souped up hunting rifle.
Okay.
I suppose the Gauss rifle is kind of sniper rifle.
Yeah. So we're gonna be using to take out these aircraft, by the way, because it will.
Alternately, we could probably get a sniper rifle on the local economy.
I've already got a rifle. It's semi-automatic. It hits hard.
Yeah. What does that have for attachments gear?
Smart gun, shock pad, suppressor, scope.
Cool. Does it have the rangefinder on it?
Does not have a range. Oh, yeah, it has a laser rangefinder, but it doesn't have the advanced thing.
Advanced, okay. I can maybe swap mine from my AK to that for the time being. Oh, I think you can use smart gun and scope, can't you? I'll figure that out.
I believe you can, yeah. Most smart guns come with a camera, which I think has you can put vision mods and stuff in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always put Vision Mag on my smart guns.
You couldn't in previous editions, but yeah, they seem to have gotten rid of that for this one.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, Godfather is going to take his uh, smart gun platforms and set them up in the firing ports of his APC like cannons in an Age of Sail battleship. Um, and wire them into this.
Theoretically, I could use those too if I'm full VR.
Yeah, you can. You have the gunnery skill though.
I don't. I could buy it at level 1, which is better than nothing. But
Yeah, spend a
Is it-
spend like 2 karma and brush up.
yeah, is it logic
Yes.
for that for remote controlling, or is it agility?
It's logic.
Okay, yeah,
If you're
I'll be
you
pretty
only use
okay then.
agility if your hands are on the weapon.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so that makes even more sense for me to be back with Omen then. I can help protect Omen if shit gets hairy out there, and I can offer gunnery support in the assault team through a smart play.
I've got a
You've got the
spare-
HG mounted on one of those, don't you, Neo?
Yeah, I've got it aiming out the front firing port.
Yeah, cool.
I've got a spare crime wave if you guys wanted to help entrench your position. It's the little LMG turret platform.
I've got the LMG as well.
Yeah, this one's automated though.
Yeah, that should either go with Ricochet or Omen, and I think.
I don't know how well that'd go with sneaking in though.
Yeah,
Sneaky is
true.
platform.
Yeah, probably best to help defend the house. All right.
Cool.
Gonna load one of my Ares alphas with High-X, the other with Retro. Set up emergency wireless protocol, or wireless kill protocols.
So something we should keep in mind: if we confirm we've killed Blanc, we should probably pull out at that. That's kind of our main objective. We're going to kill the leadership, then pull out, right? I think that was what our job was, quote, unless we think we can take the rest.
I mean, so long as we deal with basically everything bigger than a rocket launcher, I can clean this place up, I think.
Like if we take it Buang but then leave, they could just send another. They've already mentioned they've got reinforcements inbound.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
kids, so
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see.
let's be honest. If we take this place, we get to loot it.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's the plan. I think we're all set. Yeah.
So yeah, the plan is Trey and Flash go in, get the gas set up, get the timer going. Then Trey, Flash are both go to turn wireless on the tank. Maybe the other goes after the mortars. Once the time hits and the gas goes off, depending on what happens, either we take Wong out in the tower or she's forced to leave. We open up with spells and Gauss. And then, I roll the vehicle in and try to assault.
How many spirits are you binding? Are we going to bind? By the way, are we going to bind any more?
That's entirely up to the mages. We can give Omen a chance before just find out if he wants to try to bind any anytime. But
Yeah, retcon a little bit since he doesn't seem to have been here for the prep.
I mean, I got really lucky. Do you think it's worth like trying again? Do you think it's worth?
Well, I mean, when you bind a spirit, it lasts for a year, up to a year, I think. So
You could try to bind a couple like Force 4 spirits or something too, and then pre-summon another big spirit before we attack. Because you can only have one summoned up, but you can have as many bound out as you want to, and they're a lot faster to summon
up
too.
charisma.
My charisma is 8.
So in theory, you could have 9 spirits active if you bind that many, but in a situation like this, having as many as you can reasonably do is probably
This 200 soldiers is a lot of soldiers.
Yeah, I'll try a
Very
Force
true.
4 then, like if I'm allowed.
And we should specify now as you summon them what extra powers they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into like the rule book.
Oh, Arctic. When we were hacking Blong's comm link earlier, did we? You said there was like an ongoing communication that we snooped. Is that the last entry there in the notes, or was it something different?
That's right, the last entry with Mr. Red.
Okay. Man, we should have put a bullet in that fucker's head when we shot him in his bed. Like, would have saved ourselves a lot of trouble, but no, we had to get the no kills bonus.
You were one of the fucking most stalwart people of the no kill bonus.
Yeah, I know. I'm allowed to bitch at my
dead.
I owe money,
You know
okay?
who would have killed him fucking and made it messy and have sent a statement? Andre would have done that.
Yeah, but Andre's dead.
He wasn't fucking then, was he?
Yeah.
But
So,
I'm saying
by the
maybe
way,
his ways of doing things wasn't the best.
After listening to you fucking try to talk to people.
I'm still alive.
Yeah, because you're a fucking bitch that no one would put in combat.
I mean, I survived the market pretty well.
we gotta make
That
a rule
was
that
through
Fenway is
dumb
not
luck.
allowed to talk to people anymore, though. Fenway does not do negotiations.
I can do etiquette, but I can't do negotiations worth a damn.
Okay, come on. I'll read my book again. What is it? Where is it?
Hey, Clockwork, remember when we gassed your kids?
He may have forgotten, that we have them
You know,
held
like
hostage.
maybe I just have a weird sense of humor, but like maybe I thought that would break the tension.
Yeah, your charisma 8 shines through sometimes, man.
Here's the book. What they don't teach you at Harvard
Honestly,
Business School.
Honestly, charisma 8 is the ability to that though and still make a positive impression. Like, charisma 8 is saying, "Hey, remember that time I gassed your kid?" And the other guy actually going, "Oh shit, man, yeah, that was hilarious."
I'm assuming you're probably going to want me to make some stealth rolls as well.
Yeah, definitely. Get it done so that we can kick off next week.
Okay, there's the Force 4 spirit then.
Where are you crossing across the rice paddies while there's like planes in the air?
Well, I'm thinking I'd probably try and do it because I want to creep in really slowly, find a position where I'm ready, and then I'll just wait.
Yep, should be no problem. So you're able to get yourself in a position. We'll just next week we'll work out if you're discovered prematurely.
Yeah. So I would go in basically the night before.
Decide, am I sneaking in or am I going with you?
Sewers.
I think you're sneaking.
Yeah, you'll be going on the sewer team. Sewer team 6.
Yeah,
that mean
you can
I
work
need
out with Trey
buy
which he's going after
scuba
the.
gear?
Sorry.
Does that mean I need to buy scuba gear?
I think we have several sets between us, so you should be good.
Sounds good.
Full stealth Arctic, and they're at -6 dice to any perception tests to spot me.
Cool. Remind me next week.
Okay, no worries.
Can Fenway summon water spirits?
Yeah, I think you can.
Because it strikes me that having a water spirit that can use the movement power on our swimmers would really help them infiltrate that tunnel.
We don't want to be calling out spirits and shit when we're trying to
gonna-
infiltrate.
Well, they're going to be underground though. If they're not going to be able to be seen, if there's a spirit underground, they're already spotted in the tunnels. I mean,
Yeah, but you can see astral through
it's
Not through the earth, you can't.
it's dirt. It's living. It's organic.
right organic material. You can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
I mean, on the astral,
Yeah, we
you can't see through inorganic material either.
Yeah, you can pass through it though. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
yeah, you can see through like depending on the material and the thickness, like it obstructs astral after a certain point.
Yeah.
Like glass, I think, is very good at blocking astral, but like a normal wall is less so. Yeah, I can't remember the rule of thumb for determining how astral blocking something is though, but I think Earth is like you can't see through the fucking ground.
Right, because it's got living. It's basically a living organism, really, when you come down.
Just decomposing shit. Yeah.
Oh, it's just the earth.
Uh,
The earth is considered alive.
Right.
But,
All
yeah.
the bacteria and shit in it. Yeah.
So yeah, we actually should be able to send a water spirit in.
Okay, I'll roll
Oh,
because
just
my dice pool for summoning non-beast spirits is lower than like summoning actual beast spirit.
you shouldn't need a super high force one for that either. I don't think. At least maybe force 3 or 4 would be more than sufficient.
Yeah. Force 4, because then I can at least back them up a little bit too. If shit hits the fan, and amongst other things, a Force 4 water spirit pops out of the sewers and starts eating motherfuckers.
Okay, so we do like the beast one first that I rolled for. Just binding.
I think so, yeah.
1. And then I'll do the other one. Like okay, there we go. The first 2 are for force for beast, and the second 2 are for force for water.
Arctic may have died.
Does he have another game right now?
In 1 hour.
Pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually
He's got his
leaves.
microphone on mute though.
Yeah. I think I might leave you guys here for tonight. I'm pretty fucking dead right now.
Cool.
I was gonna put like a
really
little
good
message in
shit.
for next
Hyped
week.
as fuck for. Yeah, it's finally gonna happen, boys. We've been prepping for this assault for like what 3 or 4 sessions.
Okay, everyone, say goodbye to the internet people.
Goodbye, internet people.
Farewell, internet
Goodbye.
people.